promise. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump just signing a memorandum to launch a probe of China's trade practices.
And this is just the beginning. I want to tell you that. This is just the beginning.
An investigation could ultimately lead to tariffs on Chinese imports. China's government warning against a trade war. The president still getting shouted questions about his initial response to the deadly weekend violence in Virginia, even after offering a more forceful condemnation today.
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs.
This time naming the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists. The driver accused of plowing into counter-protesters during a white nationalist event, killing one, wounding 19 others, is held without bond for now. Police records just released show James Fields Jr. was previously accused of beating his mother, who's disabled and uses a wheelchair. There are late reports of at least 5 people injured and a girl killed after a driver rammed into patrons at a pizza restaurant east of Paris. Again, just getting word of that now in France. An anti-government bomb plot in Oklahoma City. The FBI has a suspect in custody. Fox's Jeff Manasso has this live.
Lisa, the FBI says 23-year-old Jerry Varnell was taken into custody Saturday in a terrorism investigation after allegedly trying to blow up what he thought was an explosives-laden van outside a Bank First building in downtown Oklahoma City.
He parked the van in the alley of Bank First and fled to a safe location in order to remotely detonate the bomb. FBI agents arrested the subject without incident.
Assistant Special Agent Raul Buhanda says an FBI informant provided a fake device. Federal prosecutors also allege that Varnell also eyed targets in Washington. He faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, can I still take advantage of today's low rates? Is it still a good time to refinance? The answer is yes. Now's a great time to call Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Another lawsuit over the president's crackdown on sanctuary cities that don't cooperate with federal immigration officials.
President Donald Trump's administration has kept up its attacks on sanctuary cities, counties, and states. We're here today to announce that we have filed a second federal lawsuit against President Trump's administration.
San Francisco's city attorney Dennis Herrera, alongside the California attorney general, who's also suing on behalf of the state, challenging the Justice Department threat to withhold federal law enforcement grant funding. Only a few weeks after a deadly case of immigrant smuggling, another truck and more arrests in Texas.
For the second time in less than a month, another semi-truck packed with illegal immigrants has been found in Texas. The most recent incident happening close to the border in Edinburgh, where a semi was discovered over the weekend at a truck stop. Federal officials say 17 illegal immigrants were locked inside the sweltering truck for at least 8 hours. 2 people with alleged ties to the vehicle have been detained and are being questioned by U.S. Border Patrol. In Dallas, Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
The former wrestling star known as Nature Boy is reportedly in a medically induced coma.
Pro wrestling legend Ric Flair is hospitalized and, according to his representative, is dealing with some tough medical issues. Melinda Morris Zanoni confirming that Flair had been hospitalized and stated he was admitted for routine monitoring, but Zanono also added that they are asking for prayers and positive energy. His friends and fans took to Twitter reacting to the news. Former pro wrestler Mick Foley and wrestling executive Eric Bischoff wishing Flair well.
Fox's Michelle Polino. Flair is 68. A rally on Wall Street, the Dow up 135 at the closing bell. And again, east of Paris, French police are saying a girl was killed, at least 5 people injured when a driver rammed into a sidewalk cafe. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN 3-day forecast presented by Chief Bauer. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Chief Bauer. Service experts to help keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. Today, the high today is 85 with the high tomorrow 87. High on Thursday 88. It is clear and sunny, and it is currently 85 degrees right here in Urbana, Illinois.
Nifty.
Wow. One more week. It's the Tay and J Show. I'm Lon Tay. Flying solo today. Jeremy Warner covering training camp. Mike Carpenter enjoying a week-long vacation. We've got some Cardinals talk today and some Cubbies talk. Austin's going to join me later this hour. Things got heated up a little bit this weekend. I was in St. Louis to enjoy that. I'll talk about that as the Cardinals snuck into a tie for first place on Saturday night and quickly went back into second place on Sunday. We'll do that. We'll also visit with Kevin Wheeler at 325, 101 ESPN down in St. Louis. Ask him some questions about those St. Louis Cardinals. Mark Tupper's going to join us from the Decatur Herald and Review as we get ready for Illinois football to begin. I'll also ask Tups about this Cardinal-Cubs series and rivalry and how, hey, this could be a fun August and September and even a day into October as we roll through the season. And Jeremy Warner, as mentioned, at training camp, he's going to join us about 5:25 to get his take on what is going on over there. Well, as mentioned, this is our final week of the Tay and J Show. So Friday, Jeremy and I will be doing our final show. This week is a little confusing. I'm going to be gone one day. Jeremy gone today, of course, but we will be able to give you Friday's show, our last together, the last official Tay and J Show. And I thought that I would start the show out today talking a little bit about the Tay and J Show and how this thing originated. As mentioned, Warner gone for the day. Carp also on vacation all week. So speaking of Warner and Carp, here we sit exactly 1 week away from major changes on ESPN 93.5. And you know by now, but Jeremy will be starting his own 9 to 11 a.m. show called The Jeremy Warner Show, featuring Austin Berkland as his producer and contributor. Meanwhile, Carp and I will be starting Tay and Carp, a show that will air from 4 to 6, essentially taking the spot that has given you the Tay and J Show for close to 7 years. It's actually fitting to be flying solo today. You see, 7 years ago, in November of 2010, what were you guys doing in 2010, November of 2010? I turned on a microphone at our old studio doing a 3-hour sports show without a name. At the time, we were Connect FM, and the plan for myself, and eventually a week later, when Jeremy joined me, was to do a 3-hour sports show every day. We eventually settled on calling the show Tay and J Show, and man, am I going to miss saying that every day. The Tay and J Show, I think it's something that has grown here in the Champaign-Urbana area. Now, before Jeremy was able to join me, I actually did a 3-hour show solo that first week, every day that week, learning this board in front of me that is now second nature and being scared to death about filling 3 hours. Stevie J, he was there to help me out that first week. He would drop in on occasion to help me fill a segment. Ken Cunningham even joined me that week, basically telling me he really didn't know much about sports, but he was a friendly face in the same studio while I babbled on and on about me and sports. Now, later today, as mentioned, you'll hear from Mark Tupper, 4:05 to be exact. Tups, a friend that goes way back to my Decatur days at WAND TV, was more than willing to help me out that first week, as were some other friends. Kent Brown was a guest, as was Chris Widlick, even former Illini volleyball coach Kevin Hambley. I have no idea who my first guest was on that show, and wow, do I wish I would have written these things down so years later I could look back at that, but I know those guys were part of that first week. Having a guest, you see, was like having that blanket as a kid when you were scared of the dark. From 1988 on, I've had something to do with broadcasting and the media pretty much every year. Starting out at WITT in Tuscola, ironically, 93.5 FM, and then studying radio TV broadcasting at SIU Carbondale from 88 to 92. After time spent on the radio trying to figure out if that was my path, I decided that I loved TV. So I focused on television and landed a job out of college doing TV sports, and I did it for the next 10 years. That lasted until 2002 when I decided to get out of the business. Now, on occasion, I would get a call from an area TV station to fill in while others were on vacation, to put that makeup on again. It scratched the itch, and that scratch eventually went away. Until Stevie J called me one random afternoon in 2010. We chatted on the phone. We then met for lunch at the Philo Tavern, and we discussed me getting back into the business, but this time on the radio side. Now, 3 times, I'm not sure he remembers this, 3 times I told Stevie no. 2 active, sports-minded kids and running my own business would not allow me the time to settle in every day to talk sports for 3 hours. If you know Stevie, you know this. He persisted, and I caved, and here we are. Nearly 7 years later, we welcomed aboard Jeremy Warner, settling on a show name. We did that, of course, 7 years ago. Settling on a show name, the Tay and J Show, and beginning the process of making the show what it is today. Mike Carpenter, well, he was introduced a bit later, and little did Jeremy and I know how valuable Carp would become to not only our show, but to both of us and our personal time. I was the real culprit, my frequent, though overblown, if I may add, trips to Florida, and then my need, that is, to be at the majority of my boys' sporting events. When needed, Carp, always there, and he became a key member of our team, at first joining us on Tuesdays and Fridays, then settling into a Friday regular, becoming the commish for our weekly, well, we tried weekly, 5 at 5. Now, Carp gets his shot at being a name on a show, and it is extremely deserved. I could not be happier than to share a name with him now on a show, Tay and Carp. I also couldn't be happier about having our show become 2 hours instead of 3. So often people would ask, what do you talk about for 3 hours? We don't live in a big market. We don't live in Chicago where we have all sorts of sports, all sorts of callers, everybody that lives and breathes that. We live in Champaign-Urbana, not exactly Chicago, but honestly, it hasn't always been easy. 9 segments instead of 6, it makes a big difference. The 4 to 6 will present problems for me with regards to my boys' sports, but hey, we'll work through it, as we always have. My oldest, a senior this year, is about to become knee-deep in a golf schedule that'll pull me away from the show quite a bit. My apologies early, but as all you parents know, especially those with a graduating senior, it's his senior year, and I can't look back one day with regret of missing him while I was talking to you. I've also decided to coach my youngest, Andrew, his basketball team this winter. That could be interesting. Again, some early exits during a few shows, but again, well worth it. So a new start. The Jeremy Warner Show and Tay and Carp. Mixed emotions, no doubt. I'm excited to start working on growing a second show here at SJ Broadcasting. Having some fun with Carp while also getting our footing for content and new features that will likely pop up on our show. It's already been worked on. We've talked about it for 3 months. I'll be honest, I don't see a big change from the way the Tay and J Show currently operates each afternoon. It's a great blueprint. Why not plagiarize it and grow it in our unique way the next few years? The mixed emotions, of course, is the ending of the Tay and J Show. But more than that, the fact that Jeremy and I will be halting what has become part of our everyday existence for nearly 7 years. The thought is sad on so many levels. The professional level, or professional, as we like to say, where we are both proud of what we were able to bring to the table each show. Sometimes content heavy, sometimes controversial, sometimes downright goofy. Normally that was my role. The show, like a child, grew. And as you fellow parents know, that growth is amazing to watch. It goes by quickly. Almost 7 years. Are you kidding me? 7 years. There are so many moments like those you share with your children. Moments you simply have forgotten, but that stick deep in your own soul, deep down, helping to make you whole and make you who you are. This Friday, Jeremy and I will do our final Tay and J Show together. I'm already a mess. Isn't it crazy? Jeremy has been an awesome co-host, and we've never had words, ever. Imagine that. 7 years, and we roll on. great co-host, but also now a great friend. He won't say it, but he was the integral part for the guts of our show. Each day, lining up guests or topics or thoughts. I think early on, I amazed Jeremy that I could show up unprepared for a 3-hour show and make it happen. Call it a skill set, call it a gift. Heck, just call it the ability to talk. He then realized it was me at my best. The rare times I would actually prepare for the show were some of my worst performances. We all have our strengths, right? And mine, it seems, is to be as off the cuff as possible. I get in my own way. Clear the mind line, just have some fun. I've told people before, when I worked in television, I never let myself get too close to people. Why, you ask? Because I knew eventually either that person or myself would be moving on to the next job. Now, some of you have been lucky enough to work with the same people your whole lives or in the process of doing that now. It happens. It cultivates friendships and memories, and that is awesome. But the constant moving around sometimes in the media business gives you a hardened shell, a front that is both tough and guarded. It, my friends, is a key ally. But sometimes that simply doesn't work. Jeremy is the example. For nearly 7 years, I've walked into the studio and stared across the room at him as we have visited for 3 hours. Different topics, different sports, different thoughts, and funny moments, special moments, and laughs that are too numerous to count. How would a person not miss that? How would a person not be sad about that? Why would a person want that to end? But life is all about that. Jeremy approached Carp and I first about this move, and after a day of letting it settle in, I realized how important this change would be to my life as well. Call it being selfish, but for the three of us, we realized that we needed this right now. So here starts a week that sums up our crazy lives and provides proof of why this change was needed. Jeremy gone today for IlliniInquirer.com and Illini football practice. Me gone tomorrow for Lucas's golf. So many things are coming full circle, and it hit me last night as I went to bed. The fact that I started the first week solo, and I'm doing that again today, nearly 7 years later. The fact that Jeremy joined me on that show every day from Northern Illinois. And nearly 7 years later, he will be joining me this Thursday from his house, testing the equipment from up north in Illinois. Then comes Friday, the final show. The final time we will say the Tay and J Show on the air. Saying that even now seems strange and confusing. To this day, I still see it spelled wrong on Twitter and Facebook and text, and you have to laugh with me on this one. Everyone together now, it's Tay, T-A-Y, and J. Just the letter, not J-A-Y, just the letter J. Tay and J. Sure, there will be plenty of times that Jeremy is on Tay and Carp, and on occasion, I'll join him on the Jeremy Warner Show. It's not like we won't hear from each other, and there's even a rumor that he may join the band again, and we do a Tay and Carp on location with Jeremy on hand so that we can have a little party with you guys, the listeners. I would appreciate you showing up. We want to thank you in person. Friday will be tough. It'll be memorable. Emotional. It already is. Sad, and it'll be fun. It'll also be rewarding in the sense that I'm going to take a moment, brief for sure, to take it all in and realize what we have built in nearly 7 years. I can't say this was a dream come true, but I can say that the Tay and J Show turned out 100 times better than I thought it would after the first solo show way back in November of 2010. There's no stopping a runaway train, so hop on board and join us for the final week of the Tay and J Show. Kevin Wheeler chatting Cardinals baseball. Next.
Delicious food, cold brews, great music and art, Kids Zone, and more. Join us along with the Champaign Park District for the Taste of Champaign-Urbana happening this Friday and Saturday in Westside Park, Champaign. Try something new. Get a sample of local favorites as you explore exciting food vendors. Hear free live music featuring Rock Country Act, Murphy 500, and the danceable Sun Stereo. The Taste of Champaign-Urbana has something for everyone, so come to Westside Park this Friday and Saturday and be ready to eat. Get more details online now at champaignparks.com. That's champaignparks.com.
champaignparks.com.
100.9 Kiss FM. 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 100
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks. Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know the quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
Attaboy, Harry. Bring me out of my dole. It is the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay flying solo today. Austin Birkeland. Harry Black will join us a little bit later today. I want to say congrats to Milan Taylor from Champaign. Her and her 3 kids are heading to Disney World on an all-expense-paid trip courtesy of this station, along with Travel by Beth, Jets Pizza, CarX, the Suites at 3rd, Country Financial agent Jesse DeHaan, the Prospect Bank, and the Champaign Park District. Congratulations, Milan Taylor, her and her 3 kids. This is fantastic news. Heading to Disney World on an all-expense-paid trip courtesy of us. Okay, it is the Tay and J Show. I'm Lon Tay. Again, Jeremy Werner covering Illinois football training camp. Still a few more days from that. We're creeping up Labor Day weekend for the start of the college football season here in Champaign-Urbana, and Mike Carpenter on vacation. So now we're going to head to the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line and welcome in our guy from St. Louis from 101 ESPN. That is Kevin Wheeler. You can follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. Kevin, I'm doing my inner Kevin Wheeler today and doing a show alone. This isn't easy, my friend.
Oh, come on. It's totally easy, man. You and I both got the gift of gab. You just got to have a lot of words ready to go.
That's what it is, right? Just be able to talk. They called my grandma Jaws years ago, and I think I got some of that. So what the heck? Well, yeah. Well, Kevin, my 10-year-old and I came down Saturday for the game, and that scene was so fun after that game. Now he's 10, so it's not like we could partake in a lot, but we went back to Ballpark Village and kind of soaked up the atmosphere as the Cubbies lost and the Cardinals jumped into first. We also went to the game Sunday where the Cardinals, of course, dropped back out of first. But, you know, how fun was this weekend and how fun was St. Louis as the Cardinals ripped off 8 in a row and crept back into first place?
Well, I mean, it's the kind of fun that everybody in St. Louis is used to.
Right.
Why people were so frustrated and why people had such a hard time dealing with, you know, the way things were earlier in this season. I mean, you know, this is what Cardinals fans expect. This is what it's become over the last, 17, 18, 19 years.
Sure.
So it's nice to have some fun, and it's nice to have a team, because let's be honest, we're not just talking about our own external expectations. I mean, we're talking about the expectations that the team puts out there from the owner on down to everybody else that they want to be a playoff contender. So when you're not meeting expectations, that's not fun.
No,
but when you start to meet those expectations and you start to show people that, hey, we are a little bit more of what we told you we were, well, then you get to have a lot more fun. And I'll tell you, it's way more fun, Lon. You know, I know a lot of people take shots at people like us who do what we do for a living. Like, you guys just love controversy or you love negativity. Like, no, we don't.
No.
It's way more fun and way better for ratings when you have a good team. And having a good team to cover in a good situation is way more fun than being able to complain about something every day.
Amen. I wish I could. Can we just take what you said, those last two sentences, and just replay that over and over again. It's so true.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure you guys get that on the Illinois side, right? Like, you just like to complain. Well, no, but you've got to tell the truth. And,
yes.
when it comes to the Cardinals this year, I had people, that will, be angry because you guys are so negative. Well, they were bad.
Yes, they were.
They were below expectation. The coverage reflects the performance. So when somebody's going great, that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
And when somebody's struggling, that's what we're talking about. It's pretty simple.
Well, Kevin, they went great for 8 games, and of course hit a hiccup yesterday, walk on the hill, a couple of misplays in the field, and eventually that winning streak's going to end at some point. It did yesterday, but I know the offense was the key in this 8-game stretch. Was there something you saw that was going right with this team that hadn't for a long time, or was it simply everybody started cranking with the bats?
Well, basically the veterans started hitting.
Good call.
The simple version is this season has been saved by Tommy Pham and Paul DeJong. If those guys don't come up from the minor leagues and just start hitting like elite middle-of-the-order hitters, I don't know that you're in this position right now. But what's happened here recently is that your veterans that you were counting on have performed. And in Dexter Fowler's case, he got off the DL,
sure.
and he came off the DL crushing the baseball. Matt Carpenter has looked more like Matt Carpenter since the All-Star break. Yadier Molina has been on a hot streak here lately. That Colton Wong returning from the DL, I think, I don't think he gets enough credit for the year he's having. He's hitting over 300. His on-base percentage is 1 point below 400, and he's actually got a pretty good slugging percentage, even though he's not hitting home runs, which is good because he shouldn't be trying to hit homers. He's a doubles guy, and he's having a great year. And if not for, him and Pham and Paul DeJong really kind of saving the day, we're not talking about this right now. So you combine the starting pitching, keeping you in it the whole year, and the fact that lately the veteran guys, really the guys that you've been counting on, kind of joined in with the other guys, and that's what got you going.
Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. You brought up Paul DeJong. He hit 17 and 18 this weekend. You get it in music. You get those what do you call them when they have one hit, right? And you're like, those one-hit wonders,
yeah.
right? You look at this kid, though. He's a walk-on at Illinois State, and now he's doing what he's doing in St. Louis at the major league level, and he seems to be just taking it so much in stride, which to me is more impressive than anything. Is this a kid how do you project him, Kevin? I know that's impossible to ask, but for Cardinals fans, and even like Austin, our resident Cubs fan, says, hey, was this a young kid? Is he finally going to cool down at some point? What is it about this kid? You played baseball at a high level. You coach baseball. What is it about this kid that means he has staying power, you think, in the majors?
Well, first and foremost, he can actually play shortstop.
Right.
Really. I'm not trying to be a snarl.
Right.
Partly I am because Aledmus Diaz had trouble defensively, but the fact is that he is stable enough there that it allows for you to say, okay, whatever you get offensively as you go long term is not necessarily just a bonus, but he doesn't have to be an elite bat moving forward. He's got one significant problem, and that's that he strikes out a lot and he never walks. And usually that combination doesn't lead to high batting average, or high OPS numbers. And normally that'll lead to maybe some power. That's the kind of profile that Mark Reynolds had over the years.
Yeah,
that's
good
kind
call.
That may end up being what he is as a hitter, but if he can play shortstop and be that, who cares?
Right.
That he's shown that he is a stable defender. He's not a Gold Glover. He's not super dynamic there, but he's stable. He plays it better than Aledmus Diaz did. Got a good arm. He's very, very calm. I've been mostly impressed with his mental approach. Lon, just nothing seems to faze him. And, I think that the offensive part to me is interesting. I don't think he's going to stay at this kind of level. We're not talking about Carlos Correa here. We're not talking about an elite shortstop. But if you compare what he's doing now to his career minor league numbers, his career minor league, he slugged almost 500. That's 246 games in the minor leagues at 496 for the slug. That's not a fluke because some of those are in pitchers' ballparks or in pitchers' leagues. He did some of that in the Midwest League, which is not known for being an overly hitter-friendly league.
Sure.
Now he did some of it in the Texas League, which is a little more hitter-friendly, but not so much in Springfield. And, he did it in Memphis, which is a hitter-friendly league in the PCL, but not necessarily overly friendly at Memphis. So I think that, there's clearly going to be power there. the question for him is going to be batting average, because all of his on-base percentage is going to come down to batting average, because he just doesn't walk. He didn't in the minors. He walked, let's see, what did he walk? He walked a grand total of 78 times in 246 games in the minor league. So, basically, almost 2 years, and he only walked 78 times, but he's only walked 19 times this year combined between AAA and the majors, and that's well over 100 games, like 113 games. So the walks are a problem, but the power plays, and if he can continue to play good defense and hit, let's just say he's going to hit 20 to 25 homers a year, that's a hell of a player.
No doubt. And we'll take it. We'll take it for the future. Kevin Wheeler, follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. He spits out stats like crazy. You probably were bad at math in school, but then you could remember every other stat, and your mom's like, "What's going on here, Kevin?"
Once they started substituting letters for numbers, I was out.
That was it. That's I'm right with you on that one for sure. Well, Kevin, Saturday night, a little bit shaky there at the end, but Trevor Rosenthal gets it done, gets the out, of course, to get the win on Saturday night. I want to talk to you about Trevor. I've always been a Trevor guy, and I know that he's had his ups and downs the last couple of years, and now he's back to the up. I think he's signed for one more year. I want to clarify that with you.
He is, yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, I call it me. I don't know. I'm fine with Rosenthal just being the closer, and I know he had his struggles, and I get it why you brought Owen, and O had a great year last year, but I'm fine with a guy that can throw 100 being my closer. Do you think he's figured it out? It seems like he's throwing more changeups, et cetera.
I mean, his entire success versus failure is about throwing strikes.
Right.
I mean, when he throws strikes, he's successful. And when he gets wild and he's putting runners on base, he's not. And, what's frightening about him is that you can see what he's capable of, and then you'll see an entire month. I think it was the month of June. He had a 7-something earned run average. I mean, like, elite closers never do that. Never. That never happens with Mariano Rivera, Oldest Chapman, and I'm talking Hall of Famers there, so I realize that. But if you take any of the top 10 or 15 closers in the game, they don't have a 7+ ERA for a month. And, he was 4.5 last year, which is why he lost the closer's job. And it all comes down to his control. When he throws strikes, he is damn near impossible to hit.
Right.
And when he gets behind, look, everybody can hit velocity these days. So I'm fine with him being in this spot. I mean, he's no question got the ability to be a closer. And by the way, that game Saturday night should have been a whole lot easier if the first baseman doesn't drop a simple throw from the second baseman that would have hit him in the belly button if he didn't knock it down with a frying pan.
No doubt.
I mean, Matt Carpenter's got to catch that throw from Colt Wong.
Yep.
And if that happens, there's nothing that scores against Rosenthal in that inning. That inning out like 3 batters earlier. So, I think that, that one I give him the mulligan on. But I think that's the real trick for him is, can he be the guy that is going to throw strikes regularly? I mean, you look at 2014, his walk rate was pretty high, and he had a lot of saves, at 45 saves and a nice ERA, but he gave up a lot. It was a lot of trouble. There were a lot of scary outings. 2015, he was the man we thought he was going to be, right? It was a lot of strikeouts, 48 saves, a 2.10 ERA, and like, okay, this guy's figuring it out. And then last year comes up, and then you have the spot this year. And I think that, he's the best candidate for the job on the team, Lon. He's the best guy going into next year. But if he doesn't figure that out, you might see some more up and down.
Fair enough. Kevin Wheeler, I've been asked about this and a lot, and I'm a guy that did not, how do I phrase this? The Cardinals did nothing at the trading deadline. We all know that, and I'm sure you've heard all about it on your show. I'm not the kind of guy that just wants to make a move to say, hey, they made a move and they added this guy, or they made a move and now you got a guy on the payroll for the next 4 years and who knows if it's going to work out. I'm one of those guys that would rather trust the brain trust to know what they're doing and that the deals out there were not what they needed or what they wanted and that they can make something happen this offseason. I assume from your listeners you're hearing a lot on both sides, but maybe even more so on the side of why didn't they do something. Is that what you're hearing?
No, it was pretty balanced.
Okay.
I mean, there were people that thought they should trade Lynn, but only if they got the right return. And that was my stance is, hey, if somebody's going to give you what you want for him, then go ahead and trade him.
Sure.
Because that doesn't mean your season's over. I mean, you're plugging in a top 100 prospect in this rotation spot if you trade him. I mean, that's not really all that dangerous of a proposition there. But they didn't get what they were wanting to get. And with as close as they were, you probably would have had to give them a premium price, which is fair. And I don't think anybody really complained too much. You had a few outliers that that were upset that he didn't get moved. And I think most of us looked at it like, if you're not going to get something really, really special, especially since you're going to get a late second round draft pick for him if he walks away, then there's no hurry. Just go ahead and play it out. I think there were a lot of people, though, that wished they would have added something.
Got it.
But I don't think anybody said that you should have just added a risky player. You know, if it couldn't be an impact player, then maybe it's a rental on a cheap price. You know, I think, like, for example, I think the thing that people in St. Louis are probably questioning more than anything is, why not Jay Bruce?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, he went for a 23-year-old guy in low A ball who throws hard but really hasn't done anything. You know, he was a 30th round draft pick last year.
Right.
But then the counter to that is Randall Grichuk's out hitting Jay Bruce right now.
Yep.
I mean, you know, Randall's hitting 300 with stupid power since he got called up from the minor leagues the last time, and we know he's streaky, but so is Jay Bruce. So, you know, I was kind of torn. Like, I threw out the idea of Jay Bruce. I liked the idea because he's a proven veteran. I kind of know what I'm getting. And he's got 29 home runs this year, which at the time was nearly double the highest Cardinal. You know, at the day he was traded, he had 29, and the Cardinals' leader had 15. Wow. So, you know, if that was something that, you know, I wasn't going to – it's definitely not something I want to, like, sound the alarms over. You didn't get Jay Bruce.
Right.
But it was one of those things that might have made some sense. Hey, you can plug him into the middle of the order, you know. But in fairness to the team, and this is where you talk about trusting those guys, they're pretty smart. And, you know, they've been getting by with Jose Martinez and Randall Grichuk, right? And if you look at their numbers for the last 2 or 3 weeks, their numbers are better than Jay Bruce's during that time.
That's interesting. Kevin Wheeler, follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler94. Last one for you, Kevin. I guess if we all had this knowledge to know, right? Does this team have the staying power with the Cubs? I mean, that depends on, obviously, the Cubbies. It depends on this Cardinals offense and the pitching continuing to do what it's doing. You've got the last week of the season, 7 games at home, 4 against the Cubbies, 3 against the Brewers. Is this going to be a race to the end, do you think?
I think so. I mean, you know, number one, because the Cubs just haven't done what all of us thought they were going to do.
Agree.
At this point of the year, you know, the deeper you get, the less likely it is that it's just going to happen. It could, but given that we all fell for that act maybe 3 or 4 times already, like, oh, here come the Cubs. I know I have. I mean, I told my listeners, next time I start doing that, smack me, because I've done it a few times this year. Like, oh, there go the Cubs. You can forget it, and then they just fall back to earth. So you've got that factor, but really the number one thing, Lon, that makes me think that you can stay close going into the latter part of September is that the starting pitching has been excellent.
Yes.
You know, 4th best rotation in all of Major League Baseball, and that's including some of the ups and downs with Adam Wainwright. So, you know, hopefully he's not going to be throwing 83 for a whole lot longer. That was kind of weird this past weekend, and he mentioned some of the tricep soreness that he was dealing with there. But you know, I think that the rotation gives you the chance. The fact that the bullpen is kind of stabilized gives you the chance. You just hope that the offense is a little less streaky, because when the top of the order's going, when Carpenter and Fowler are going, and remember that's how this lineup was designed, right? They were designed to have 2 or 3 guys at the top that are going to be your on-base machines, and that allows everything to work. Well, that's actually been happening since the All-Star break.
Right.
Matt Carpenter's on base over 40% of the time, and Fowler, since coming off the DL, is hitting for power. In fact, he's been batting cleanup, which has worked, so keep going. Who cares?
Amen.
And, you know, you got Carpenter and Pham setting the table for DeYoung and Fowler and Molina and everybody else. As long as that keeps happening, they should be more consistent than they were, and obviously they're not going to score 8 runs a game.
Sure. No, that would be tough to do. But if they want to, I'm fine with that as we roll through the season.
Yeah, that'd be cool, yeah.
What the heck? Well, Kevin Wheeler, we appreciate it, my friend. I know Jeremy gone today, but as you know, it's our last week as the Tay and J Show with he and I together. And I know it was one of those where we just talked to you not long ago, but I told Austin today and Jeremy, I said, I want Kevin Wheeler to definitely be on this week because he's been such a big part of our show. I hope you know that. There's no need to even mention anything. You know you've been a big part of it, and we appreciate all you do, my friend.
Hey, look, man, it's fun. It's guys talking sports. We all see things a lot alike, so I'll keep having fun with you guys, even if we have to do the whole, like you have me every other week, and then he's got me on the holidays or something like that.
That's right, because I think I won you. I think I won you in the divorce. So
you won custody.
That's right. This is awesome. Hey, Kevin, have a great day, my friend.
All right, Lon, be good.
You too, buddy. Kevin Wheeler, KMOX. No, Kevin Wheeler used to be on KMOX. That's my fault. Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. Follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. Of course, Mike Claiborne, the guy I'm thinking about with KMOX. Good stuff there with Kevin Wheeler talking about the Cardinals making a push to get within a game of the Chicago Cubs in this NL Central. When we come back, Austin Berkland's going to come in. He's our Cub guy. I'm going to ask him what Saturday night felt like, and I want his honesty on this, when the Cardinals crept into that tie for first place, and then what the rest of the year is going to look like. His confidence meter with regards to the Cubs themselves. I mean, that was pretty impressive. They go to Arizona, win 2 of 3 when they know the Cardinals are just chomping at the bit to take over first place here in the National League Central. So we'll talk to Austin about that. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. If you have a thought on the Cubs and Cardinals, you can do that. You can call the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line, or you can text the Chief Bauer text line. We make it easy for you. It's the same number, 217-359-2255. To make it even easier, it's 359-CALL. Oh, yeah. Hey, like a QB's top receiver, B-Dubs has the perfect wing sauce pairing for our Blue Moon Belgian white beer called Blue Moon Barbecue. Available for a limited time while supplies last and only at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Please drink responsibly. It is the Tay and J Show.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
It's Devin Watkins, Deputy Champaign County Sheriff's Department. Just does a great job, and we appreciate all that she does. So when you get home after your shift and your 2 black labs see you, they are so jacked.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do they calm down to go to bed because it's too late to go running?
I think they've got it down now. As soon as I sit down, they jump in my lap and they're ready to lay down with me.
And then you can run the next day.
Yep.
And they run pretty well with you then.
They do. They love it.
You need to have rollerblades when you start because the dogs bolt on you.
That's what everybody tells me.
It'd be dangerous, so have to wear a helmet. Well, listen, I'm thankful that you do what you do. Thank you because, again, you're serving, you're protecting, you're helping our county be better. And there are people like you that make it really, really good for us here. And I appreciate what you're doing.
It's my pleasure. Well, I really enjoy the career, so it's definitely my pleasure.
Well, stay safe out there.
Thank you.
You're a law enforcement official of the month. Brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions.
DP Dough is the original Calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original Calzone company.
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign.
Hey guys, it's Jeremy Warner, and starting on Monday, August 21st, tune in weekdays from 9 to 11 a.m. for the Jeremy Warner Show only on ESPN 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the WSJK app and at ESPNCU.com.
Stevie J Broadcasting with our Disney trip giveaway.
I cannot believe it. I am so happy.
Milan Taylor of Champaign was chosen as our winner.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you.
Her family will be so happy.
I get to take my 2 boys and my baby girl.
Of course, we'll have more chances to win this fall.
Protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Buyer's inspection with a buyback guarantee and seller's inspection. No surprises before closing. Owned by me, Aaron Allenbaugh, and my wife Kim, and serving all of East Central Illinois. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay being joined in studio now by Austin Berkland. If you want to weigh in via the phone or the text line, you can do that. Jupiter's the Crossing phone line, Chief Bauer text line, 359-2255. We have a couple of texts that have come in regarding the Cubbies and the Cardinals. One says, hey, the Cubs have the easiest schedule in baseball left, I believe, and their starting pitching has been very good. They should be able to bring this home. And the other says, well, hey, when I bought my Cubs-Cardinals tickets for September 28th, I'm going to be there that day, by the way. I thought maybe it would be a meaningless game, but I think that game in particular, Thursday, September 28th, might actually decide the division. Can't wait to go Cubs. That would be interesting if that is the case. Again, if you want to weigh in, 359-2255. All right, Austin, Saturday happens. The Cardinals win. The Cubs fall to the Diamondbacks. I know it was percentage points behind, but it was basically a tie for first place between the Cubs and Cardinals. The Cubs have a couple of games in hand. What was the feeling? What was your feeling that night? You don't have to get crazy deep, but were you a little bit like, oh, man, here it goes?
My first thing was, oh, boy, I'm going to see a GIF from Jeremy on Twitter. And, of course, I did. It was the Steve Carell office GIF of, no, please, no. And then it went through that. Then all the retweets and everything started coming in.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's just gonna be annoying,
right?
It's not gonna be like I'm worried. It's
just more annoying.
Yeah, it was just gonna be more annoying. But then Sunday happened, and then they win the series, and then then the Cardinals lose to the Braves. And then I felt a little more relaxed. Oddly, it's weird how one game can do that to you in the long season that is baseball, but I really did feel that calming sensation because just what the Cubs offense did. Chris Bryant hit going 3 for 4 with a double and a homer, only his second homer since that finger injury. So maybe that finger injury is starting to go away. And then that really lengthens out that lineup.
Without a doubt.
You don't have to rely on Wilson Contreras being your offense. You have your MVP back in Chris Bryant. You have Rizzo who can just get on base for you. And then Ian Happ who can hit a homer or strike out, it seems like that's his two options. And if he can hit homers at a higher clip than he is right now, then the offense is back and it can withstand Wilson Contreras being gone.
I'm with you with regards to this. I would not be in a panic if I were you, only because the Cardinals won 8 games in a row to slip back into a tie for first and now are a game back. That isn't easy to do. We've seen it all year from the Cardinals. Them sustaining that would be almost more of a miracle of them winning 8 in a row. I don't have a lot of confidence that this Cardinals team is going to be able to put up that much of a fight the rest of the year. That doesn't mean they won't be within 2 or 3 games. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong on that. I hope the Cardinals and Cubs go neck and neck the rest of the way, or I hope the Cardinals just jump out by 3 or 4 games and let's call it a day. Don't get me wrong on that. I just don't think the Cardinals, from what I've seen this year, can sustain that kind of play. But one thing that is fact is that Wilson Contreras is gone now for a while.
Yes.
And that kid was carrying your squad. And I saw a quote from Joe Madden, basically, the Cubs manager, saying, well, maybe this will help everybody else because they'll realize, hey, he's gone. We've been riding his back. It's time now for everybody to step up. How scary is that thought, though, without Wilson Contreras? And How much of a player has he grown into? Did you expect him to be this good right now?
No. He's the Cubs MVP this year.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Chris Bryant, as good as he is, as much as he hasn't fallen out from his MVP caliber season of last season, he's just that good where he can throw out runners. He is that defensive spark plug. He can frame. He can do all the little things to help you win a baseball game, yet he can also still hit that huge bomb to get the Cubs out by 3 runs in the first inning or in the second inning. He's just that type of caliber of player. But whenever you take that away, then that means a guy like Alex Avila, who is 3rd in the AL in catching metrics, has to continue to keep that up.
Right.
If that is his play level. And then that you have to rely on Victor Carantini to not be how terrible he was whenever he had his first stint up with the Cubs. If he continues to just make that basic play, get that double in there, get that single in there every once in a while, just to give a guy like Ben Zobrist a chance to bring him home, then I think the Cubs will be fine. But it's just that nerve factor of Wilson Contreras being gone.
That hurts.
That energy that you lose from him.
Not only the energy, just the defense as well, right?
Yes.
I mean, being able to shut a running game down, Avila's pretty good at it, but Contreras would throw behind runners. I mean, he's got a great cannon, blocks the plate well, just a great defensive catcher, and it doesn't matter who you are, what team you are, if you have a solid defensive catcher like the Cubs, Cardinals, Royals, etc. have, and you lose that guy like the Cardinals did last year with Molina for an extended period of time, it hurts you. Eventually it catches up to you. And it will hurt you, and it may cost you a game or 2 down the road here. We'll see. We'll see what happens to the Cubs.
I can't remember the last World Series champion that did not have a dominant catcher.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it?
I mean, from Jason Varitek with the 04 Red Sox to David Ross and company with the Cubs and Salvador Perez with the Royals, and then Buster Posey every even year.
Yeah, no doubt, and Yachty.
To your Cardinals, Yadier Molina.
Yeah.
Every team has had a dominant catching presence, whether it be leadership in the clubhouse or albeit the offensive prowess of a Buster Posey. You need a dominant catcher, and that right now the Cubs just don't have that right now. It's more of a good position, not a great position.
I agree with you, and it's funny because when the whole Carson Kelly thing, and don't get me wrong, there were moments when I would say and think to myself, if they could get a power bat and Kelly has to go, then that's what you've got to do because you've still got Yachty through 20. But part of me of what you just said, part of me thought to myself, why would you get rid of a kid that could be one of the dominant catchers in baseball for the next 10 years? If or when, that is, Yachty decides to kind of pass the torch, if you will, or even if he doesn't, finally retires and then Carson Kelly takes over. I think that's important, and I think that was well said on your part. 359-2255. We're going to head to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. Donna wants to talk some baseball. How are you, Donna?
I'm fine. I'm getting ready to go to Seattle next weekend.
Nice.
And by the way, Lon, since I won't be talking to you guys until I get back, but I'm buying you a new shirt.
Oh, wait, Arizona or Seattle?
No, Arizona.
Yes.
Nice.
Now, see, but the Cardinals, the pitching for the Cardinals isn't bad, but what do you think about Lance Lynn? I mean, do you think he's that good, Lon, or is it just but I will talk, and whenever you want to go out for a beer before I leave, let me know.
Okay.
And Austin, you can go too.
Wow.
Thank you, Donna.
Well, now hold on. Jeremy and I should get first billing here, and now Austin's getting.
Well, you will.
Okay, you can sit at the corner table.
I can buy a first round of beer, and then maybe Donna can buy me a second round. I don't want to buy that first round of beer.
Do you?
I love it.
Like go to Seattle. Juan knows all about.
Oh yeah. Hey, Donna, thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Good stuff. Oh, Donna hung up quick. Lance Lynn, solid pitcher. He keeps you in games. That's what Lance Lynn does. His issue sometimes, and it was like his last outing was one of his worst, even though he still battled. Lance Lynn is a guy that throws heavy numbers of pitches before the 6th inning. He's not, I guess his weakness would be getting into the 7th or 8th. You're not going to see that very often with Lance Lynn. He doesn't have many pitches, but he's got a fastball that is good enough that it can keep hitters not confused, but off balance a little bit, and he can just kind of overpower you. So Lance Lynn is, he's been a big part of this rotation.
I'll tell you what,
he's been one of the most consistent guys, and you would have loved to have had him in Chicago.
I want him next year.
Yeah.
You would lengthen that rotation because you're losing Arrieta, you're losing Lackey. He can be the new John Lackey.
That'd be huge.
And he would just lengthen that rotation. He has a 3.12 ERA, a 1.15 WHIP, and 117 strikeouts this year. That's not a bad season. No. He is one of the reasons. Him and Michael Wacha are the reasons why the Cardinals are slipping back in this division.
Isn't that crazy?
And, I mean, Carlos Martinez is going to do Carlos Martinez things. It's just what can the other pitchers do? And Lynn and Wacha have stepped up in a big way.
I agree. And you look at that, you got Mike Leake, of course, in that rotation as well. All right, Austin, we got about 2 minutes. Down the stretch here, what's the one thing you want to see the Cubs do right? Is it starting pitching being as good as it has been lately? Even John Lackey gave you a solid performance. Is it that, or do you want to see the bats kind of start to explode? What's the one thing you definitely want to see here at the end?
Just bullpen limiting walks.
Okay.
If the bullpen can limit walks, then the Cubs will win the division. If the bullpen can't step up like it did against the Cardinals and when they walked like 8 straight and didn't get a single out, then that's when problems arise.
That is, no doubt. I woke up Sunday. This is how geeky we are in general. I woke up Sunday morning in a hotel, and Andrew and I decide, let's go to a game again. Let's go to the game yesterday. So I forget who's pitching. So I'm like, Andrew, why don't you ask your phone or whatever who's pitching? So blah, blah, blah. And it was Michael Wacha is how the lady said it, against R.A. Dickey. And immediately it stopped me. I was walking to the bathroom to shower. It stopped me and I'm like, did she say R.A. Dickey? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, no. And Andrew was like, now he throws a knuckleball, right? And I'm like, yes. And if there's one thing that worries me about a team that's red hot, winning 8 straight, offense exploding, is then having to face that.
Oh, you want to see that 97-mile-per-hour fastball again as a hitter. You don't want to worry about location.
And R.A. Dickey had Matt Carpenter shaking his head all day. Carp went 0 for 5 in the game.
Yeah, knuckleballers turned MVPs to shambles.
Without a doubt. And I even worried, I sat there worrying the whole game thinking, all right, this could be the exact thing the Cardinals did not want to face as they're rolling along. I would have rather faced Max Scherzer, I think, coming up throwing, I wouldn't, but throwing heat than I would R.A. Dickey, who's throwing knuckleballs in, and just, he had them so confused all day. It's amazing that guy is only 8-7.
He's the cold shower the Cardinals needed.
You're right. You're loving it.
Cub fan, yeah.
You were absolutely loving it. A texter pointed out John Lackey 5-0 since the break. He's a bulldog.
Yeah, he's fighting back.
He's a bulldog.
Him and his fake teeth are just amazing.
Hey, next hour, more of Austin. We're going to get some next question with Austin about 4:25, 4:30. When we return, though, Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review. I want to ask him about Cubs Cardinals, also about Fighting Illini football. We'll do it next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Stevie J Broadcasting with our Disney trip giveaway.
I cannot believe it. I am so happy.
Milan Taylor of Champaign was chosen as our winner.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you.
Her family will be so happy.
I get to take my 2 boys and my baby girl.
Of course, we'll have more chances to win this fall. You're always welcome home at the end of a busy day at Platinum Award-winning Comfort Suites on Lincoln Avenue in Urbana, rated #1 on TripAdvisor. All rooms are suite style with a sitting area and pull-out sofa. Enjoy their 24-hour indoor heated pool, spa, and fitness center, full hot breakfast buffet daily, and a complimentary light evening meal Monday through Wednesday. Comfort Suites also offers a group and airport shuttle, and they're pet-friendly. You'll always be welcomed at the end of your day at Platinum Award-winning Comfort Suites. Call 328-3500 to reserve your overnight stay today. 328-3500.
Hail to the orange. Hail to the blue with Game Day Spirit Fan Store. Game Day is the exclusive retailer of this year's Hail to the Orange t-shirt. Don't miss out on getting yours. Find the exclusive Hail to the Orange t-shirt at any of the Game Day Spirit locations or order online at GameDaySpirit.com. Youth, adult, and extended sizes available in the BOGO section at Game Day Spirit. Located at 519 East Green Street in Campustown and now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Game Day Spirit. Go Illini!
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%. APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Stevie J Broadcasting with our Disney trip giveaway.
I cannot believe it. I am so happy.
Milan Taylor of Champaign was chosen as our winner.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you.
Her family will be so happy.
I get to take my 2 boys and my baby girl.
Of course, we'll have more chances to win this fall.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And Lisa Brady. A lot of second-guessing in Charlottesville, Virginia, in the aftermath of the deadly violence that erupted over a white nationalist demonstration.
I certainly have regrets. We lost 3 lives this weekend, a local citizen and 2 fellow officers. We certainly have regrets. It was a tragic weekend.
Police Chief Al Thomas moments ago saying the initial plan was to keep dueling protests apart.
Once the crowds were dispersed, they went to many locations throughout the city.
And he says some on both sides were ready for battle. He also says reports of assaults are still coming in. The protester killed was hit by a car that rammed a crowd, injuring 19 others. The driver, James Fields Jr., described as a white supremacist, is held without bond after an initial court appearance today. After criticism over his initial response,
racism is evil.
President Trump calling out hate groups by name, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America.
He's also vowing justice after meeting with Attorney General Jeff Sessions and the FBI chief, Chris Wray. The Justice Department launching a civil rights probe, but Sessions has also said the attack meets the definition of domestic terrorism. Another possible car attack in a small town in France, east of Paris. Police say an 8-year-old girl was killed, at least 5 others injured, when a driver slammed into the sidewalk cafe at a pizzeria. There's no confirmation yet that it was intentional or terror-related. The driver is in custody. Wall Street rallies, the Dow up 135 to 21,993. On the Fox Reports, fair and balanced.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT. Home. Safe home.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, can I still take advantage of today's low rates? Is it still a good time to refinance? The answer is yes. Now's a great time to call Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
After what happened in Charlottesville, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh sending a message.
We reject racism. We reject white supremacy. We reject anti-Semitism.
And he says the city will do everything in its power to keep hate out. They're preparing heightened security for a planned free speech rally and counter-protests this weekend. Investigators now say a deadly shooting at a racetrack in Wisconsin was gang-related. The victims, all gang members in a neighboring state.
I don't know if this is retaliation. I don't know if this is a family trouble. I really don't know. The only thing I'm very positive of is the 3 people who are dead are involved with a gang in Illinois.
Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth says the suspect who fled the scene Sunday night knew who the victims were, targeting them at close range around a food tent. The jury now has the case against a former radio DJ accused of groping superstar singer Taylor Swift. She countersued after he blamed her for him getting fired. Swift crying in court at times during closing arguments today, including during the defense arguments. Ice cream on the way to the International Space Station with about 3 tons of other supplies.
SpaceX successfully launched its Dragon cargo ship this afternoon atop the big Falcon 9 rocket. Thunderous percussion filled the air as it flew up into space, and crowds packing Florida's Space Coast beaches all stopped to look up. On board the Dragon, 6,500 pounds of supplies and scientific experiments and research, including a larger-than-normal package of frozen ice cream and fruit bars, a hot August treat for the 6 astronauts and cosmonauts living on the space station.
Fox's Phil Keating at Cape Canaveral. It's the 20th commercial resupply mission for SpaceX and the 14th time the company's Falcon 9 rocket successfully returned to Earth in an upright landing at the Kennedy Space Center. In New York, I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to help keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com today. The high today is 85. High tomorrow is 86. Expect some thunderstorms, and Wednesday it's high as 88. Expect some thunderstorms as well. Right now it is 85 degrees and sunny in Urbana, Illinois.
Did you say 88?
Yeah.
88 is great. That was our slogan in 1988.
Oh, yeah, you graduated in 88,
Yes,
right?
I did, baby. High school. I'm not that old. Well, that is old. Never mind. Austin, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, 88 is great. Hey, we're welcoming back returning and new incoming U of I students with our Prospect Bank Welcome Student Bags. Look for us Sunday, August 27th in Campus Town to claim yours with offers from a bunch of businesses. How about Rosati's Pizza, Vapors E-Cigs LLC, The Place at 117 Apartments, Jets Pizza. Got them all. Learn more about our Prospect Bank Welcome Back Student Bags at ESPN 93.5. That's ESPNradio.com. It is the Tay and J Show. It is ESPN 93.5. Lon Tay flying solo today. Jeremy Werner enjoying Illinois football training camp. Mike Carpenter taking a week of vacation heading north. So that leaves me here in the studio, and we're welcoming on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line our guy, Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review. Mark, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Lon. How are you doing, bud?
There's an underlying reason you're on today, Mark, besides the fact that Illinois football is in high gear. I want to ask you about Illinois basketball. I even want to ask you about the Cubs and Cardinals. But, Mark, almost 7 years ago, November of 2010, I started doing this show, and Jeremy had joined me a week later. But for the first week, I did it solo, and you were one of the people that I reached out to come on with me, and you were kind enough to do it and help me through the dark days of doing a week of shows by myself. And I thought of this last night. I said, I've got to have Tups on since I'm doing a show solo again today. It's almost come full circle. And Mark, I just want to thank you for all these years, 7 years where you've joined Jeremy and I and provided a lot. It means a lot to both of us.
Oh, shoot. That's been a lot of fun, man. I've enjoyed it too. So I'm happy to do it, and I understand you guys have got a whole new repertoire coming up, and we'll do whatever we can to help.
You're a good man. Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review. Before we get to Illinois football, how about this Cub-Cardinal race all of a sudden? The Cardinals, I took my 10-year-old down this weekend for a couple of games, and there we go Saturday night. We jump into first place. Even if it was short-lived for the day, or the night, that is. But, man, it was fun, and St. Louis was abuzz on Saturday night. This could be really fun if these two teams could make this happen and battle to the end.
Well, I mean, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't happen. It looks like it will. The schedule is favorable. They've got 7 games head-to-head, I think, between September 15th and September 28th.
Wow.
And a lot of division games, and I don't think you can count out Pittsburgh yet, and Milwaukee's still there. So, I mean, this is going to be really interesting. The Cardinals got hot and probably would still be if they didn't run into a knuckleballer.
Yeah, I agree. I literally woke up yesterday morning in a hotel, and Andrew told me who was pitching, and I'm like, oh no, that's exactly what a team that's won 8 straight and has an offense rolling doesn't want to face as a knuckleballer, and R.A. Dickey did his job for sure. So that could be fun as we go down the stretch. All right, Mark Tupper, you've been out at Illinois football a few times. Any kind of overall thought as to what you're seeing so far on a Lovie Smith squad?
Well, I think the storyline that won't go away is that there's a number of freshmen,
right?
True freshmen, and they're at about 6 or 7 position groups. They're on offensive line, defensive line, in the secondary, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. I mean, they're scattered all over, and they've played their way onto a 2-deep depth chart, and some of them might be running number 1 right now. And each day they make plays. They continue to make plays. And I think the encouraging thing is, I'm just telling you, Lon, I used to come out here in years past, and, everybody's excited to see the freshmen. You want to see these new kids.
No doubt.
And I would look around and I would go, oh, my goodness, I can't believe they gave a scholarship to that kid.
Wow.
And a little bit of that kind of action.
Right.
And I'm looking out there now and I'm going, wow, that's one of their best guys at that position. That's one of their best guys at that position. I'm looking at Larry Boyd, who hasn't practiced this last week but is back today and is practicing. And, you just don't see an 18-year-old kid as an offensive left tackle that lines up automatically with an NFL body. And that's what this kid has. He is really impressive looking. Their wide receivers, Ricky Smalling, has made several plays today. I was looking at 2 of their running backs, Mike Epstein and Rayvon Bonner, make plays here just a little bit ago. This Bennett Williams in the defensive backfield, kid from California. Lovey went to played college football with his father at Cal. He's looked really good. Got some pass coverage and pass catching skills back there in terms of hanging on to interceptions. I tell you what, it's impressive. It tells me 2 things. One, a number of the players that Lovey inherited are just not very good, and I don't think we should be all that surprised about that.
Yep.
And number 2, they're willing to apparently put up with some freshman mistakes and play some kids who physically probably need a year in the weight room before they, ideally before they would debut, but they're just among their better players right now, and I think some of them are going to get on the field.
Well, that'd be nice. And if he can add another class next year and another one the year after, that's, as you know, how you can start building a solid program, and that would be great. That would be music to the ears of Illini fans. Well, Mark Tupper, Mikey Dudek's out there. So is Malik Turner. So is Sam Mays. So is Ricky Smalling. That receiving core, I'm very high on. Jeremy laughs at me. He's like, you're all about that core. What do you think of these guys athletically? How will that rank, you think, in terms of the Big Ten? I know you got to have somebody get it to them, and I'm going to ask you that next. But in terms of the talent level on this receiving core, especially if a Dudek is back and healthy, that could be a really focal point for this offense.
There's no doubt about it. That's one of their 2 best position groups, in my opinion. I think they're good at linebacker also.
Yes.
But wide receiver, they've got speed. They've got guys that can catch. I'm watching Mikey Dudek out here today, and he's full go. Dom Seaman is another one.
Right.
Kendall Smith is another one. They've got some guys that can run and catch, and I just think that's a really exciting group. They've got to get the ball to them, but this is the best group they've had in a while.
And now you got to have somebody throw it to him. And I know it seems like the quarterbacks with Crouch and George and some of these guys, Cam Thomas, have had a few interceptions here in this early part of training camp. What is your overall, perception of a guy, especially Chase Crouch, who has been named the starter? What do you think of him, and what are your concerns there?
Well, I think he's had an okay camp. He's a little bit up and down throwing the ball. I think you probably want that, though, because You've said that a point of emphasis is your defense's ability to take the ball away.
Sure.
You don't want him to dominate your defense. You want your defense to make some plays against him. I'm watching him right now. He's lined up in shotgun. He took a low snap. and rolled out and threw, can't tell if they called it a catch or not, to Mikey Dudek. The thing that's really hard when you're trying to evaluate Crouch is his running is such a big part of his game, and he's off limits to contact. So, what would have happened on that play had he been allowed to run? You don't know. You're seeing only a portion of what he can do. I've seen him make some good throws. I've seen him make some poor throws, but I haven't seen the whole package with him, nor will we until September 2nd when they line up against Ball State. And so, that's what's kind of a mystery with him. But you can see why he's a leader on this team. If you talk to him, he is such a good kid. He's got a personality that you can see where other guys would really gravitate to him. The thing is, how much will they follow him if he's not playing well? That's going to be a different situation because he doesn't have a track record of performance. He's only had one start and one impressive relief appearance. Just isn't much to go on. You're going on the hope and the faith that this guy can get it done.
Follow Mark Tupper on Twitter, at Mark Tupper. He is out at training camp right now watching Illinois and Lovie Smith's squad. So I'll ask you this. We talked last week, Jeremy and I, and we were talking about the positives and the concerns. I told him I know he mentions the offensive line, and there's no doubt that is a concern. I said the defensive line, even though those defensive tackles come back and are pretty solid, you've got some defensive ends. You don't know what you've got there. And I just sit there and worry about teams running it right down Illinois' throat. What would your biggest concern, Tups, as we're here, a couple of weeks or so away from the opener? What would be your biggest concern on this Illinois team?
You probably just mentioned it. If you want to create turnovers with your defense, your best opportunity is to get teams in 3rd and long. And is their run defense good enough to keep teams in 3rd and long? If they can't stop the run, then that would really bode poorly for this team. So that would be my number one concern. I think there's the potential to do some things there, but their ends are kind of undersized. I could see where they could get mauled when we get into Big Ten play. I think that's going to be a concern. I think the offensive line might be better than people are expecting. I think they could be pretty good, assuming they're able to retain health.
Right.
And I see they've moved Andrew Traynor, who was a tight end, 6'7", 265. They moved him to offensive tackle now. And I'd say he's, I don't think they expect him to play this year, but I think he's a year away and 25 pounds away from being able to help. But they've got Larry Boyd back. It looks like Vidarian Lowe is going to probably redshirt.
Okay.
But I like some of their individual pieces. How do they come together, and how do they line them up? That's all that is yet to be seen. But I would worry most about that defensive line.
Without a doubt. Mark Tupper, I got one more for you. I don't think we've talked to you since Illinois basketball schedule was released. Brad Underwood kind of made a little underlying statement in there that, it could be better in terms of, I think, toughness with regards to some of these opponents that Illinois is going to be facing. But not only the Illinois non-conference schedule, but also the Big Ten schedule I thought turned out pretty well with regards of your home and away and who you have to play twice, et cetera. So how about your thoughts on that? I don't think we've asked you that with regards to Brad Underwood's squad and that schedule.
Well, he said he wants to make the non-conference portion of the schedule tougher. He said we were limited in what we could do this time. We already had games contractually set. He said he added the UNLV game, and they'll be at the State Farm Center next year. If he can add a couple of those games, I think that's always been a complaint of fans who have season tickets and want to go see some quality opponents in the State Farm Center. If you happen to have the ACC Challenge game in Champaign on a given year, then that's one, but there's usually not much else. And but a team like UNLV, that would be a good home game. I've always wanted them to get something set up with Butler.
Yes.
I thought that would be a good, like a 4-game series, one in Champaign, one in Chicago, one at Bankers Life in Indy, and one at Henkel in Indy. That would be, I think that makes so much sense regionally, and I think there'd be great interest in fans to see that, and fans from both schools could travel to all 4 arenas. So, but I think we just got to hold him to that now. He said they had the fifth toughest schedule in the country last year at Oklahoma State. And he said the guy in his staff who does the schedule is a master at it. So, okay, let's give him a chance to do that, and let's up that schedule a little bit with those non-conference games that would be worth going to at the State Farm Center. I hope he will follow through on that.
Without a doubt, that would be awesome, and I know fans would love that, especially here at the State Farm Center. All right, Mark Tupper, we're going to let you get back to work. Decatur Herald Review. Follow him again at Mark Tupper. Hey, it meant a lot to me 7 years ago. It still does today, buddy. We appreciate your time, Mark.
All right, Lon. We'll keep in touch.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald Review, covering the Fighting Illini. I love getting thoughts from Tups. He's been a guy that has covered this program for many, many years, and I'm not calling him old. I promise. He joined us on the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. Check out Jupiters at the Crossing's new gaming arcade area featuring brand new gaming cards that you can recharge with credits each time you come back to Jupiters. We totally skipped the sports update with Austin Berkland last hour. We just totally flew right past it. It's my fault. So when we come back, Austin is going to do a double sports update. He's going to read it twice and see. No, he's not. No, we don't need that, do we? Austin is going to join me, though, after the update. We're going to do a next question around the nation here. We've got a Cubs question in there. We've got some college football questions and even golf. This is crazy. We'll do it next. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
Looking to renovate your kitchen or bathroom? For over 30 years, Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company has been Champaign-Urbana's #1 showroom for all your kitchen and bath needs. From design to installation, Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company combines years of industry experience with excellent customer service. Check out their solid surface quartz and granite countertops, plus a wide range of fixtures and cabinetry. Call Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company at 352-1900 or visit online at kitchenbathandcabinetco.com.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
Zeke Elliott is expected to file officially his appeal for his suspension, and we are set up here for another one of these deals like we had with Brady, where you're going to be in court.
I would give 6 games. You gave a policy of 6 games, and then you gave the out of going less or going more. I would say it is at least 6 games. We have the ability to give you more if we feel it is beyond, but it will not be less. If you want to appeal, which he will appeal, that's fine. We'll discuss it. And again, it goes back to Roger Goodell. However that works out down the road, being judge, jury, and executioner, so be it. Right now, that's the way it is. But to me, it would always be 6. If a committee looks and there is any sort of domestic violence that they find in their investigation happened, at least 6 games. Not 6 with maybe it can be 2 or 3. No, it's 6.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Jim. I can't take your call right now. I'm digging for oil in my basement to help pay for my family's mobile bill. A little crazy, you say? You try getting a data plan that has enough gigs for my family. And I thought braces were expensive. We definitely need a switch.
Stuck in a dysfunctional family plan? Switch to Boost Best Family Plan right now and get 4 lines for just $25 per line, each with unlimited gigs. With Metro PCS, you only get 2 gigs per line for the same price. Plus, switch today and get up to 4 free phones, all on the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Offer ends 9/10/17. Requires 1 line to port in. Lines include unlimited data, talk, and text. Video streams optimized at up to 480p plus resolution. Music up to 500 kilobits per second and cloud gaming up to 2 megabits per second. Data deprioritization applied during congestion. Comparison based on Metro PCS's 2 gigabyte promo plan as of 4/25/17. For additional details, visit their website. Free phones while supplies last. Requires port in and activation on $100 plan. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply.
It's Lon Tay
and Mike Carpenter.
And starting Monday, August 21st, join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. for Tay and Carp.
You can tune in to ESPN 93.5 or stream worldwide on the WSJK app and ESPNCU.com.
For nearly a decade, Prospect Bank has operated as a part of Edgar County Bank and Trust Company. And recently, we consolidated our operations under the Prospect Bank name, a name that reflects who we are today and where we hope to go in the future. Hi, I'm Eric Volkman, Prospect Bank President and CEO. I'm here to tell you that thanks to the trust this community has shown us over the years, our bank is growing. And you're going to see the Prospect name in lots of new places across Illinois. Learn more about how we can help you at bankprospect.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals, a nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
It's another day. Bob returns after helping the Franklins.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
I feel bad. Rooter guys lost another one.
Oh, let me guess. You did another no-clog guaranteed sewer replacement.
Yeah, I do feel good knowing we fixed their problem permanently for 40% less than conventional methods.
Got sewer problems at your home or business? Call Stevens Underground Solutions. We'll see what's going on and give you multiple options for a permanent solution. Stevens Underground Solutions, 202-3385. We'll get you flowing again.
Home is where the art is. It's where every day begins and ends. It's a place for big occasions and small. Home is where stories unfold and where they are told. We may leave, but we always come home again. First Financial Bank can help you achieve the home of your dreams. Talk with one of our friendly loan officers and we'll help you find the loan that's right for you. Consider it our way of saying welcome home. From First Financial Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
I remember.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 430 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more. But with discounts up to 40%, you may find it even costs less. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign, Illinois at 217-367-1105 today. The Cubs have secured sole possession of first place in the NL Central after a series win against the Arizona Diamondbacks, winning 7-2 last night. The Cubs roughed up the Arizona pitching staff, hitting 3 homers. The Cubs crushed them all in the 8th inning and 9th inning. In the 8th, they went back-to-back with Baez and Happ, and then in the 9th, Chris Bryant hit only his 2nd homer since his finger injury.
Just a bunch of show-offs.
The Cubs play the Reds tonight at 7:05. It's Wojciechowski versus Quintana from Wrigley Field, and you can catch that on US 105.9. The Cardinals didn't have a bad weekend either. They took 2 of 3 against the Braves. On Sunday was their loss. They took on knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Dickey gave up 1 earned run in 7 innings of the 6-3 loss. The Cardinals play the Red Sox tomorrow from Fenway. The probables are Leake versus Porcello. The White Sox have traded right-handed pitcher Tyler Clippard to the Houston Astros in exchange for a player to be named later and cash considerations. Bryce Harper was injured over the weekend when he landed on first base wrong, but good news for the Nationals. He did not tear a ligament. He is only on the 10-day DL for now with a bone bruise. In wrestling news, Ric Flair is in a medically induced coma and faces imminent surgery. WWE tells TMZ Flair was hospitalized over the weekend. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update.
That Bryce Harper injury, that looked horrible when it happened.
I know. I thought immediately MCL.
Oh, to be young, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Austin. Hey, it's official. Weekends are now reserved for football, so come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food, it's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. I noticed, by the way, that B-Dubs here in Savoy redid they closed for a few days and redid everything, and it looks good. Went by there and had a couple with a buddy of mine the other day, so looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it's the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay, Austin Berkland, and Harry Black have joined me in studio. Austin puts together the next question that we do every once in a while, and I asked him if he would throw one together today. I started looking at these, and I'm like, I don't, these are tough, man. So I told Harry, I'm like, I'm not going to fall on the sword by myself. Harry's got to come in and join me for this thing, so he's game to do that. Is John Gross still, is he still part of this contract?
I heard a rumor that he might be joining both shows.
What?
Yeah.
John Gross?
Yeah, for their next question.
That is amazing. I thought maybe he was signed through this season, like when it starts and officially we would lose him. but maybe not.
There was an opt-in clause that we initiated here at Stevie J Broadcasting.
And for both, he is a nice guy. We all knew John Gross.
Oh, yeah.
Was a nice guy.
Next question.
He's there.
Well, thank you, John.
That is unbelievable. Let's get it going.
Did the Cubs break Aroldis Chapman? Chapman owns a 3.48 ERA and has 4 blown saves this year.
I'm not going to say the Cubs broke him, but it is interesting how they did get a heck of a year out of him, and he performed the way you want Chapman to perform last year for the Cubs.
Yeah.
And this year it has been interesting. Now, last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Aroldis had a few outings where you're like,
Yeah, there was the first one against the Mariners. He gave up his first save as a Cub, and then in the NLDS against
that's what it was
against the Giants, and then the NLCS he gave up that Adrian Gonzalez hit, and then in the World Series, of course, Rajai Davis.
So maybe we're seeing a little bit of a slip, maybe in Aroldis Chapman, who has been so good, but a 3.48 ERA. I mean, we talk about how that's not good for a closer.
No.
And 4 blown saves. I mean, they're not liking that right now. I'm going to say, though, that the Cubs did not break Chapman. I think it's just wear and tear.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy throws hard. He's thrown a lot of innings. He was in the postseason last year. So he didn't get much time in terms of rest. So, no. I'm gonna, what do you think, Harry?
I've been saying this to Austin, and he just doesn't seem to agree with me on this. But I kind of get the sense that closers are equivalent to running backs in the NFL as far as lifespan goes.
Okay.
And it just seems like they don't last as long. They'll have 1 or 2 really dominant seasons where they are the best, with the exception of like a Mariano Rivera. But then they just kind of come back down to earth, and maybe that's what's happening with Chapman.
And that could be the case. I would count him, though, as one of the best.
Yeah, he's been the last. He's lasted 8 years.
So, yeah, in other words, I would count him as one of those guys that has been around. He's not one of your prototypical, all of a sudden, I'm trying to think
he's
of
not
some
a
of the guys.
flash in the pan
Right.
like Carlos Marmol types.
Right.
Yeah, but even 8 years, that's like what I said about the lifespan of a running back.
Right, which... Yeah, no, I can see that. I see where you're going, and it does make a lot of sense. So maybe he's just wearing down. Maybe Aroldis is just wearing down.
Next question.
Are Clippard and Liriano... Oh, never mind. Who is the most overrated player in baseball?
I have no idea.
Aaron Judge.
What?
I saw this stat from a couple weeks ago. It showed his ridiculous stats against all pitchers who aren't all-stars.
Okay.
And then against all-stars, he's batting something like sub 100 or right at 100. So, yeah, I would imagine if you're a decent enough baseball player, it's easy to perform well against scrubs. But if you're going up against the best, you're going to have a hard time.
That's
and
interesting.
He has had a hard time.
So Aaron Judge, is he still in the MVP talk?
I would assume so. I believe it's him or Altuve.
Okay. I like Jose Altuve. That is interesting. The most overrated player in baseball, and you're going with Judge.
Yeah. I mean, who else would it be?
Nothing will come to my mind here. Nothing is coming to my mind. I'm trying to think of a pitcher. I'm trying to think of a position player, and nothing is coming to my mind in terms of a guy that I think is overrated.
Any people, it seems, in baseball that get this kind of notoriety are as good as advertised.
Yeah, right.
Like Kershaw or Trout or Harper.
Kershaw still owns a 2.02 ERA.
Yeah.
At Busch Stadium the other day, they threw up the stats of the best ERAs in baseball, and I just started laughing. Now, I know he's been hurt, but it was him and Scherzer, and I think Scherzer's like 2.4, and Kershaw's 2.02. And I just started laughing. I'm like, man, do we just kind of keep forgetting how good he is? Maybe not. I'm going to keep thinking on the overrated player in baseball. Is that fair?
Yes.
Because I don't want to go with a Cub because you'll know I'm just giving you grief. So let me think on that.
Next question.
Are Clippard and Liriano enough for the Astros to win the AL?
I'll give him credit. They did something, right?
Dallas Keuchel must be happy.
Yeah, right. So maybe now they can turn this thing around. The Astros have such a big lead, right, in the American League West. And it's interesting that, you have to give them credit for jumping out to how many wins they have, right? They did something right. So now that all of a sudden they're struggling a little bit, I don't know that I panic over the Astros as much as like Carp, and I know Jeremy does as well with this team down the stretch. But I still think this is a really good team. I think when they get fully loaded, and this isn't answering your question specifically, but I think the Astros are still going to be a tough out come the playoffs. And I think anytime you can add Clippard and Liriano, I think that's helping a lot. I mean, Liriano gives you the starter from the left side, right? I mean, we're talking about this Liriano, I believe. And then Clippard, of course, out of the relief. So, yeah, I think they're enough to win the AL. Harry, you?
I think that with their recent struggles, and as far as the fact that there is such an apparent parity in the AL,
no doubt,
it kind of makes you think you're going to get to a point where do they have that experience more so than any people they have on their team that have any talent? Do they have that experience when it comes time to October?
That's fair.
Can they actually perform?
Yeah, because Correa, Altuve, Springer, those guys don't have a lot of that.
They've had one round and then that one game in 2015 against the Yankees.
Wow. So not a lot, but, man, they've got a lot of talent. They have got the talent to get it done. That'll be interesting.
Next question.
Is Nick Saban
don't you even ask this.
the best college football coach of all time?
Is Nick Saban the best college football coach of all time? Yes. How many national titles? 6?
I think it's like 4.
Or is it 4?
Because he beat...
Maybe I was thinking he's going to win 6 before it's said and done.
He won 1 with LSU. He beat Texas at Bama.
Right.
He beat Clemson. He beat Notre Dame. Did he win 3 or 4? I think he won 3 at Alabama and 1 with LSU.
Okay. I think you're right.
So
4 national titles. You've got Bear Bryant, Urban Meyer, Bobby Bowden, you guys said. You also said Bear Bryant. I'm trying to think what other coaches... Unless we start going way back.
He has 5 national titles in 03, 09, 11, 12, and 15.
Who were all the ones with Bama?
That would be 09, 11, 12, and 15.
Teams against? Do you have it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm going yes. 5 national titles in this day and age. Yeah. I'm going Nick Saban.
I think it would be Nick Saban, too. The only thing I'm thinking is, what about the coaches who actually had success at the NFL? Like Pete Carroll was dominant at USC, and he could still be there. The Trojans were in the Rose Bowl virtually every year.
No, I agree with that.
And those USC teams in the early 2000s, some of the best we've ever seen. So,
but they didn't win a national title, did they?
They won 1.
Yeah, they won.
Oh, that's right.
And then they lost to Vince Young.
They lost to Vince.
Actually, I think they won 2. And
they
beat
Pete
Carroll.
One of them was given back.
With that share, and then in 04.
Then they had to give one back, right, with Reggie?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're real mad that they have to give back one of their titles.
I catch you on Carroll, and there's been a lot of good Big Ten football coaches.
You probably have to say Nick Saban's the best, though.
Yeah, Nick Saban, I think, is the best.
Next question.
Who is the best receiver in the NFL right now?
I don't think this is as hard as you guys are making it out to be.
Julio Jones is my first thought. Julio Jones is a specimen. He's an absolute specimen. And you have plenty of guys like DeAndre Hopkins that'll pop up one year.
Yeah.
Had a bad year last year, but still a stud. You've got Antonio Brown, who's just a catch machine.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes when we think of this kind of a question, a lot of times we think fantasy. And Antonio Brown is one of those guys, fantasy-wise, that is going to get you 8 to 10 catches a game and 100 yards, which obviously makes him a great receiver. I just think Julio Jones, and he and Matt Ryan have that special connection. What, you have Beckham. Larry Fitzgerald is not right now. He's older, but he still amazes me with what he does.
Of the receivers in the NFL all time, I think. Well, the receivers in the NFL over the course of their career who are still active, I think he's unquestionably the best.
Without a doubt. And people love that guy and Fitz, but no, I'm definitely going Julio Jones. He is a stud.
Next question.
Who is the best golfer not named Jordan Spieth?
I'm going to go Dustin Johnson here. I think he has the most talent of some of the guys, which is not really fair to say because Rory McIlroy has more majors than he does. Jason Day, I think, has more majors than he does. And Jason Day had that unbelievable run. But right now, if you're asking me who the best is besides Jordan Spieth, I'm going Dustin Johnson. If there was one guy I think that could line up in a final pairing on day 4 of a major, right now, to me, it's Dustin Johnson. I love Rory. I like Jason Day. Rory, I hope for the sake of golf that Rory doesn't go away. I don't think he's going away. But you had that feeling with Rory McIlroy that he was going to be really dominant. I'm not Tiger, not Jack, not any like that. But you had this feeling that here comes Rory. He's going to be the guy that everybody's going to be chasing for years. And two things happened. I mean, Spieth happened essentially.
Yeah.
And also the fact that Rory has just kind of come back. I don't know what's happened to him. His game isn't as sharp anymore. So, and Day, of course, had that run. But I think Dustin Johnson has the ability with his length and the fact that he's made himself a pretty good putter. And, you know, his caddy's his brother. And those two have a great dynamic. So I'm going DJ here. What, Harry, you going DJ or what?
I think, like you said, Rory really exploded onto the scene.
You're going Louis Oosthuizen.
Louis Oosthuizen.
I mean, Sergio has a major now.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
I'm going
I was the only guy excited that Sergio got a major.
I thought that was cool.
I did too.
I'm going to go with Jason Day simply because, like you said, Rory McIlroy really exploded onto the scene, but he's cooled down. I think when, what was it? It was 2 years ago, Jason Day, I think at the PGA Championship, he won by like 10 strokes or something ridiculous. When he's on, he's hard to beat.
Okay.
And yeah, I think he could be someone who gives Spieth a run for his money.
And Rory, I mean, I still want to see another Rory. I want to see another year.
Oh, he's not going anywhere.
No, not at all. I've got to replay F-ball. That'll give us a fresh.
Next question.
All right, for the final question. If you haven't looked at the Odell Beckham catch in Giants practice, do so now. It's incredible. This leads me to ask, what is the best catch you have ever seen in any sport?
Oh, this is unreal. There are so many great football catches, right? And Beckham has them. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. has so many great ones. Lynn Swann had a couple.
David
in the
Tyree.
Super Bowl. I was getting ready to I was getting to that which cost me $4,000, by the way, on that catch from Eli Manning. That's a true story.
Who was the Steelers catch in that Super Bowl?
Santonio Holmes.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course, Alon remembers
you're welcome.
that.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that.
Were you there?
Yes. I was there, and he caught it. And he was in by a pinky toe. Do you call it a pinky toe, or is it just your small toe? Okay, you say any sport. I was at the game when Kevin Mitchell was his name. Of course, Willie Mays had that great catch. Was that at Ebbets or Polo? Did we ever figure that out?
I think it was at Polo.
Polo ground. And that was like the 700 feet center field or whatever where you can just run forever. And then I think there was a break in the wall where you could actually run past it. Kevin Mitchell one time, and I think he was with the Giants. He played with the Reds, Giants, such. We were at a game at Busch Stadium, and he made a catch, a one-handed catch, in foul ground.
With his bare hand.
With his bare hand.
You were at that game?
I was at that game.
Oh, that's always on these best of
It was,
lists.
Gene had never been to a baseball game, and we went to St. Louis and went to a game. That was our first game ever. And where we sat, we couldn't see it. He kind of he was in view and then went out of view behind the wall, and all of a sudden everybody starts cheering crazy at Busch Stadium, and I'm like, are we really cheering because the ball landed foul? I mean, that's what I just could not comprehend as to why everybody was cheering. And then they showed it on the board of him making that catch barehanded. So I think for the fact that I was there, Austin, I'm going to go Kevin Mitchell making that barehanded catch. You'll have to YouTube it.
I will YouTube it.
To see that. So, but Harry's got a great one.
I do.
And tell everybody how you said this, like, because people my age will love this.
Okay, well, I know the one you're talking about. I came in, Austin asked the question, and I said, what did I say? I said,
you're like,
this guy named Hal McRae,
like he's like a caveman. You know, I was like, yeah, I used to watch Hal McRae all the time, and it was just funny how, like, he's old to you, but to me, he's kind of like, yeah, I remember that.
He made this catch a year before I was born.
Okay.
So, to me, he's a little old. But yeah, it was, let's see, I had the thing right here. It was 1993, Royals against the Yankees, Hal McRae, center field. He kind of overran it a little bit.
Right.
I think he made it more difficult than he needed to be, but he's running back, and he's
towards the wall.
Yeah, towards the wall, running back. And then all of a sudden, as if he's surprised the ball has gotten this close to him, he extends his arm backwards.
Yes.
And it would be his left
his
hand,
body,
right?
yeah.
Twist his arms, his entire body backwards, as if he's trying to catch it behind his back, and falls backwards. And I just always thought that was one of the most amazing catches I've ever seen.
It is amazing. There have been some great ones.
I don't mean to ramble on, but I do have two more that I want to mention. The one, that Alabama receiver from a while ago, Tyrone Prothro, where he caught the ball behind the guy's back.
Yeah. That was in the national title game, wasn't it?
I don't think...
Doesn't matter.
I think it was from Tyler Thigpen, wasn't it?
It was just regular.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
And then the last one, because I'm going off of what you said, being at a game.
Yep. I
was at the Eagles-Buccaneers Lincoln Financial Field inaugural game in 2003 on Monday night. It was a Monday night game. Eagles lost 17-0. And Joe Jaravicius made this catch in the end zone.
I remember it.
Like Santonio. No, not the tipped one.
Oh.
That's the one everyone always thinks of.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, not that one. It was before that. He made a Santonio Holmes-esque catch in the corner. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to show it to you guys.
That's awesome. I want to see this.
Yeah.
I want to see that. That's a good one. We've had a few send in the immaculate reception.
From the text for overrated players, a Cubs fan sent in Kyle Schwarber, which I kind of agree with.
Okay.
And then Tyler Knight, our fellow intern who brought the basketball hoop in, said Steven Strasburg.
Strasburg, though, was having a great year this year, wasn't he?
He was until the injuries, but injuries may
well, maybe because of that, we think he's maybe he's overrated due to injuries.
Yeah, 3 Franco Harris immaculate reception catches, and then Ozzie ground ball, whatever that means, and then
Ozzie barehanded a ground ball that it almost bounced. He was like heading towards second base and dove, and the ball bounced back towards third base. It was weird, and he reaches up. If this is the one they're talking about, he reaches up bare hand and grabs it. Or they might be thinking about the catch where he like jumped over Jose Oquendo after he caught it. I don't know. There's Ozzie Smith. You can name one of about 100 of them.
And then there's Ron Swoboda catch game from the 1969 World Series.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, I showed you that one where he's sliding on the ground.
Oh,
and he catches it. The guy scores, but he slides on the ground for about 4 feet before the ball finally
I'll have to see this. I'll have to see this. This is interesting. All right. Okay, the texter said I got it, but which one? Was it the ground ball or the fly? I think it'd be the fly ball. I bet when it was Lonnie Smith, I think, coming in from left field, and Ozzie Smith going out, and
one jumps
Ozzie
over him.
He jumped over Lonnie and caught the ball. So he not only caught it, but he avoided injury, which was unbelievable. John Camargo, I agree with this. Any catch Jim Edmonds ever made. There was one game.
Cubs and Cardinals can agree with that guy.
Right. I was in St. Louis. I wasn't at that game that night. In fact, we were in St. Louis, I think, for an Illinois-Missouri football game, and we were at Sundecker's in Laclede's Landing, and I think that's closed. And we were watching a Cardinal game when Jim Edmonds made the 2 catches in one night that were ridiculous, where he went over the wall and like just speared them back.
Yes.
Crazy.
They were talking to Jim Edmonds about that on FS Midwestern Cardinals game.
That guy, I know a lot of people that don't like Edmonds say, oh, well, he's just playing shallow so he can make a great catch. But
Jeremy will appreciate this one. Dwayne Wise, the perfect game saver for Mark Burley.
That's right.
Whenever he dove center field and caught the ball to preserve the perfect game.
Good call.
Great call to head from Chicago on that one.
Great call. All right, good stuff. Everybody that's sending in, keep doing that. 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255.
You know what's great about all these is as soon as you say them, we all remember these catches.
You totally do.
That's the best part.
Except for Joe Juravicius in the corner of the...
I'm going to show... I
want to see this thing because it's got to be a great catch. Larry Fitzgerald had one in the playoff run when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was against it wasn't the Eagles. I think it was the game before against maybe the Falcons.
I think he did the same catch like 3 times. Yeah. He's falling backwards with 3 other guys draped around him.
It was unreal. Yeah. And of course, I think of that because that's, my favorite team and I've watched most of that. So that's why I think of it. All right, 359-2255 if you'd like to weigh in. It is the Tay and J Show. Thanks, John Gross.
Next question.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Managing your finances has never been easier than now at the U of I Community Credit Union. Hi, it's Lisa Paul, your SJ Broadcasting financial expert. Stop by one of our branches today and open a new Illini Plus checking account. You'll thank yourself later because this benefit-packed account combines savings and security all in one place. With no minimum balance required, Illini Plus checking at the U of I Community Credit Union offers tons of features like ID Protect, cashback member rewards, travel and leisure discounts, and cellular telephone protection. This great account is waiting for you, and it's convenient with over 50,000 surcharge-free ATMs. That's right, 50,000 surcharge-free ATMs. Let us be your financial coaches because no one cheers louder and works harder for the community than the U of I Community Credit Union.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
You've heard me doing my hobby. Roll 'em up! Warner Wrap, go! I also have a real job as co-owner of 2 insurance agencies with more than 50 years of service to Central Illinois. Hey, it's Lon Tay, and I'm excited to do business with you. For a free business, auto, home, or life insurance quote, call me at 832-2411. Partnering with Pekin Insurance, you're guaranteed to receive a competitive quote. Going beyond the expected with Pekin Insurance and the Hillard Agency. Call 832-2411.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Flooring Surfaces Factory Outlet is the premier source for discount flooring in Central Illinois. Dozens of Mill Direct carpet rolls are in stock now. You can take home a new carpet today or use our professional installation service and we'll measure for free. And check out the Deal Zone, where porcelain tile is just 49 cents. Hardwood, laminate carpet, or vinyl, you'll find great discounts at Flooring Surfaces Factory Outlet, 1703 North Dunlap in Savoy.
Flooring Surfaces, the world at your feet.
Summer is here and there's no better way to swing into the season than at Willow Pond Golf Course, the most improved golf course in Central Illinois. Golf for $30 Monday through Friday with a cart, $20 after 3 p.m. Golf Saturday and Sunday with a cart for just $35 and $25 after 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Seniors golf Monday through Friday with a cart for just $20. Not a golfer? The 19th Hole Bar and Grill serves up great food and drink specials, live video gaming, and the Full Swing Golf Simulator. Call and schedule a tee time today at 893-9000 or willowpondgolf.com.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street, just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, Harry, you have a job assignment in the next 4 minutes because coming out of our next break, we have a special commercial that our YouTube viewers are going to want to be. So you want to go to ESPNCU.com, ESPNCU.com, click on our YouTube. I think it's on there, right? Or you can just go to YouTube and search Tay and J Show. Yeah. And you can watch coming out of our next break. But it's going to be immediate, so we're going to have to do some damage. I'll try to maybe make it the second break, second commercial, but definitely one that you're going to want to be in here, and you got to figure out what we're going to do. It's the Tay and J Show. I want to say we're welcoming back returning and new incoming U of I students with our Prospect Bank Welcome Student Bags. Look for us Sunday, August 27th in Campus Town to claim yours with offers from, how about Game Day Spirit, Next Chapter Properties, The Tower at 3rd, a lot of stuff. Look for more of it. Prospect Bank, welcome back student bags at ESPNCU.com. It is Lucas, I just said Lucas Tay. It is Lon Tay, Austin Berkland. Austin, finishing up the hour with me. You brought up the question about great catches, and now we've had a slew of texts on the Chief Bauer text line. I like the one though, and then we'll move on to some of the others that were actually great catches. But Joe in Saybrook said Rizzo at first base to win the World Series.
The simplest catch of all time, yet the most complicated catch of all time.
As Chris Bryant is smiling.
Yes.
Throwing it across the diamond.
Oh, if he was smiling and Rizzo dropped the ball.
Can you imagine that?
Oh man, that would have been some alternate.
I remember one time we were in a fast pitch tournament, and the teams I played on for the majority of my career stunk. So we had a chance to upend the number 1 seed of this tournament, which isn't T-Town, is no big deal, right? But it was going to be a big win for us.
Oh, yeah.
And I was at first. I was playing second the whole game, and something happened. We had to, I don't know, we brought somebody in to pitch or something. So I'm at first base. There's the tying run at third and 2 out. I can remember this like it was yesterday. And we had a 1-hopper to our third baseman. And as I'm trekking to first base to put my right foot on the bag and extend my left arm, the thought actually goes in my head of, do not drop this. And I'm like, why would I think of that? So I'm like, oh, man, if you drop this now, your mind is going. And so he throws, I don't know who, I think it was Blake, threw a perfect throw at me, chest level. Poof, I catch it and I hold on to it. But I'll never forget that thought in my head of, oh, what if I drop this? I'm like, why would you even think of that? Like never before in any sporting event did I ever have a negative thought right before something was going to happen. I don't think.
I wonder if Rizzo thought that.
I doubt it. I don't know. I mean,
that is the biggest moment in your life.
And that was for us to win a game in T-Town, Illinois, in the middle of nothing, right? Yeah. That was Rizzo winning a World Series.
The highest rated World Series of all time.
Maybe he did think that. Who knows? All right. So you asked what the best catches that we've ever seen, and we've had a lot of people text in.
Jim Edmonds with the Angels diving toward fence. Ruben Drones against the Pats, Super Bowl winner. Julian Edelman catch this year's Super Bowl. That was a great one.
That was fun because
David will appreciate that one.
Yes. Have you ever heard the Julian Edelman mic'd up?
No.
They had him mic'd up for that game, and when he caught it, who are they playing all of a sudden?
The Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons cornerback was like, no, man, you didn't catch that. And Edelman's like, no, I caught it. He goes, no, I'm serious. I caught that ball. He goes, what? You need to watch. And he's like tapping the guy on his shoulder pads or something. He goes, watch. He goes, I caught this. And he did. He caught it. It was unbelievable.
And then I see Gary Matthews Jr. catch. I don't remember that. Look that one up.
Okay.
Juan Uribe dives into the stands versus Houston, second to last out of the World Series in 2005.
Nice.
So a Jeremy Warner special on that one.
Yep.
Lynn Swann, Super Bowl catch.
I brought Lynn Swann up. He had a couple of great catches when he played for the Steelers, and they all came in the postseason. They were all unbelievable catches.
He was the ultimate gamer in the NFL, I think.
I agree with you.
Just could not make a bad play.
Harry is showing me this is the Gary Matthews catch. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
He climbs the wall. That was good.
And then Louis Del Rio from Fox, Illinois, tweeted at me. He said, the Austin Jackson catch the other night for the Cleveland Indians against the Boston Red Sox.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he dove, and then he fell into the bullpen, maintained possession of the ball, and then just jumped right out and said, I'm fine.
I got it.
Got the ball.
Wouldn't it be funny if he actually dropped it, but there was just a bullpen, there was just a random ball laying around the bullpen. He just grabbed it, acting like I caught it.
Yeah.
How are they going to know?
I think replay.
That's true.
Now that there's replay.
That's a good point. Now, Louis, that's a good one right there. There are a lot of good catches. You and I were just laughing how we bring something like that up, a topic like that, and everybody's like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
And, I mean, how do you judge the best, right? That's the great.
You can. It's all subjective.
It's all subjective. All right, good stuff there, Austin. Appreciate your help, and Harry as well. Next hour, we're going to do drive time to start things out. Jeremy Warner, IlliniInquirer.com, and also co-host of the Tay and J Show for one more week.
Kleenex.
One more week?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. We're not going off the radio, by the way. I've had a lot of people ask me that. No, we're just...
There will be the Carpenter Show, and then there will be the Jeremy Warner Show. Just remember that in the back of your mind when we keep saying it's the last week of the Tay and J Show.
There you go. You're like Mike Thomas. Carpenter Show.
Oh. Carpenter, my bad.
It's the Tay and J Show.
I'm Chris Drummond, owner of Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Since 2006, we've provided the best professional carpet cleaning in the Champaign-Urbana area. At Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, we use the Rotovac carpet restoration system to assure the best carpet and upholstery cleaning service. For just $99, we offer carpet cleaning for 3 rooms or 4 rooms at $29.95 per room. Google Drummond Carpet Cleaning and see what our customers have been saying, or call for a free estimate at 217-722-3663. Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. If we didn't clean it, it isn't clean.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late. It's time to make a stand. Call 877-FE-MORAN. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
If you really want to enjoy life's celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Incident in Charlottesville, Virginia. They don't like the fact that he has not come out stronger against white supremacy and white nationalists. This is going to prove to be a major issue for New York City police and security details ahead of this evening's arrival of President Trump to Trump Tower. He's scheduled to stay here for the next couple of days. They will have to do something to secure this area as the president arrives later on this evening.
Thanks, Gernal. President Trump making a more specific condemnation of the extremist groups involved in Saturday's deadly violence today.
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
And the Justice Department is launching a federal civil rights investigation. Fox News, Fair and Balanced.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Think you can't manage the down payment it takes to purchase a new home? Think again. You could move into a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Fire a missile at us, it's game on, what Defense Secretary Jim Mattis told reporters this afternoon. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Marine Corps General Joseph Dunford, is traveling in Asia. First stop, South Korea.
Meeting with South Korean President Moon, promising to defend that country and others from North Korean aggression. This while supporting economic and diplomatic measures by the U.S. and the international community to deal with threats from Pyongyang. China, for its part, Monday said it would cut off key imports from North Korea following a UN Security Council resolution. No signs yet of a threatened attack by Pyongyang of the U.S. territory Pacific island of Guam.
Fox's Greg Palcott. Investors' concerns about North Korea easing a bit, U.S. markets ending higher after last week's sell-off. Jurors now deliberating at the federal courthouse in Denver. They're weighing evidence in dueling lawsuits involving a fired former DJ and pop star Taylor Swift. Fox's Michelle Polino live with the latest.
Well, Jane, during closing arguments, attorneys for both sides pointed to a photo as proof that an alleged assault either did or did not take place. Now, David Mueller's lawyer saying that Taylor Swift's testimony is inconsistent with every other member of her team, saying, look at Miss Swift's face. Is that the face of someone who's in shock, who is upset? The pop star cried in federal court. Swift's lawyer told jurors that Swift is standing up for all women and saying no means no. Mueller is suing after being fired, looking for $3 million. Swift is countersuing, alleging assault, seeking a symbolic $1 judgment. Jane.
Thanks, Michelle. Pro wrestling legend Ric Flair, 68, now out of surgery. We don't know what kind of surgery he had. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News Radio.
This is so bad, but Harry, can you hold up the live read? The weather live read. How would I have sat here my entire life and not known this?
Yes.
Right?
Weather brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to help keep you comfortable all year long.
Look at you.
Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com today.
Whoa, wow.
Yes, that was a solid weather. It was like reading off a teleprompter there.
Right.
All right. High
until your teleprompter goes down. That happened a few times.
High today is 85. High tomorrow, 86. High on Wednesday, 88. On Tuesday and Wednesday, expect some thunderstorms. Right now, it is 85 and mostly cloudy in Urbana, Illinois.
It's time for Drive Time. For a wide selection of new and used vehicles, check out Honda BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. And you can check them out online at drivechampaign.com. Drive Time, where we talk about what we've talked about all day. Well, it's been me doing a lot of talking. I started out the show with a little bit of a message to everybody regarding the final week of the Tay and J Show. Got a little emotional. But it is kind of strange. 7 years ago, almost, nearly 7 years ago, November 2010, in our old studio, a station called Connect FM, I started and turned a mic on and did a solo show for a week, getting ready for Jeremy Warner to join me the next week in what would eventually become the Tay and J Show right here on ESPN 93.5. We moved to a new studio. Jeremy and I have built that show in what would be 7 years in November, but it is going away, of course. This Friday will be the final Tay and J Show, and it will be a memorable show for sure. And then, of course, after that, starting the 21st on Monday, Jeremy will be doing his own show from his house. That's right. He'll be doing it from his house. He'll also be doing it from the studio. I think, in fact, day one on the 21st, he's going to be right here in studio. The Jeremy Warner Show, which will air from 9 to 11 a.m. right after the Stevie J Show with Steve and Diane. And then, of course, you'll get Tay and Carp from 4 to 6, a show that we feel like will be balanced and run similar to how we do this Tay and J Show. A lot of content, a lot of interviews, a lot of fun. That's what Carp and I plan on And that will be from 4 to 6. We're cutting it down from 3 hours to 2, which I think all of this in general helps Jeremy out. It helps me out with my other business, and it helps Carp out as well. But we're excited that Carp finally gets his name on a show. He's done a lot over the last 6.5 years to deserve that. So it's going to be fun. And Austin Berkland, who's done a wonderful job behind the scenes as well as on the air here for us on the Tay and J Show, he's going to be a contributor and the producer to the Jeremy Werner Show. And I know Austin has already said he's going to help us out a little bit producing Tay and Carp. And there'll be a lot of stuff in between. We're already in the divorce process fighting for guests, and Kevin Wheeler assured me today that he's mine. So I get Wheeler. Jeremy gets him on holidays only, which I'm fair with. So this is going to be a fun run. It has been a fun run on the Tay and J Show. I mentioned the fact that I did this show solo for a week, and back then, 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago in November, a few guys joined me that week on the show, including Kent Brown. Kevin Hambley joined me that week. Chris Widlick, former WCIA3 sports director. I was reaching out to guys that I knew to say, hey, will you come on and help me through this, because this is a long time to chat. And, of course, Mark Tupper joined me nearly 7 years ago, as he did today, which was part of the plan. Mark Tupper joined us to talk from Illinois training camp. Said he really likes the look of Mikey Dudek and this wide receiver bunch. His concern can be some of that defensive line for sure. He's wondering about Chase Crouch. I thought he had a good thought on Chase Crouch and the fact that he hasn't looked great in practice. And I think we all know that Chase Crouch is more of a game time kind of guy. Get me out of practice, get me to a game, let's see what happens. But the one thing, quarterbacks can't be touched in training camp. That takes away Chase Crouch's ability to scramble. He can still scramble, but they're basically saying, well, it wouldn't be fair because we can't even touch you. So I think that's such a big part of his game that it'll be interesting to see when he's able to do that and has the full barrage of his ability, how much better Chase Crouch will be, because it's been a little bit of an iffy training camp right now for Chase and some of these quarterbacks. Now, the other thing that Mark brought up that we've talked about, and we're going to talk to Jeremy Werner at around 5:25 about, is the stable of freshmen. And Mark Tupper basically said that in all his years, and there's been a few, of covering Illinois football, that, every year we're excited to hear about a freshman coming in. But he said a lot of times I'd look at a freshman and think, are they even going to make it at Illinois? Is that kid good enough to make it at Illinois? He's like, that's not the case this year. These freshmen this year, some of them have worked their way onto the the depth chart, the 2-deep depth chart, and some of them are going to play. Ricky Smalling's going to play. Larry Boyd possibly on that offensive line. He's a gigantic man. We'll see if Alex Pelchewski can add some depth to that. I mean, there are a lot of these guys that are going to be able to go out there. A couple of freshman running backs that could make a difference this year for this Illini team. So definitely a freshman class that, as Tupp said, not only look the part, but are doing the part right now in training camp. So Illinois training camp continues. We'll talk to Jeremy Werner in a bit about that and get his update from today. Also had Kevin Wheeler on 101 ESPN in St. Louis. I asked him how fun this has been with the Cardinals making up the ground, the 8-game winning streak. Saturday night, I was down in St. Louis with my son Andrew. We were at the game when the Cardinals crept into first place, a tie with those Chicago Cubs. And I can tell you this, St. Louis was a buzzing that night. And, of course, yesterday, the Cardinals lost to R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer. I woke up Sunday morning in the hotel, and I'm like, oh, no, we got to face R.A. Dickey and his knuckleball, coming off 8 straight wins and a red-hot team and a red-hot offense. Now, all of a sudden, you got to face that junk. And R.A. Dickey was great. He improved 8-7. Michael Walker got beat up a little bit in that game. Cardinals made a push, had Yachty up, bases loaded, down 2 in the 8th inning, but grounded out to third. It would have been a spectacular win, one of those that you remember for a long time. But unfortunately, the Cardinals fell. The Cubbies then took 2 of 3 in Arizona, which I thought was a nice showing from the Cubs after the Cardinals had kind of made a statement to say, hey, we're back in this thing. Cubbies go and they win Sunday to take that 1-game advantage now. This is going to be fun. The Cubs and Cardinals are going to meet 7 more times this year, including the final week of the season, when the Cardinals host the Cubs for a 4-game set in St. Louis. That is going to be fun. And let's hope, for all of our sake, it's still a race come down to that moment, because that could be fun if those two teams are within a couple of games of each other either way, and that thing could make that big of a difference. The Cardinals then, of course, closed the season at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. Not sure on the Cubbies. I'd have to check that, and that's my fault I didn't. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun race. We noted that John Lackey, 5-0 since the All-Star break. The Cubbies, we know they've got the talent. They have the best team in the NL Central. There's no doubt. But the Cardinals certainly went on a nice stretch there. They get Dexter Fowler back. They get Colton Wong back, who, according to Kevin Wheeler, and I agree with him, Colton Wong has been kind of undervalued this year. He's had a heck of a season for the St. Louis Cardinals. So these two teams down the stretch are going to be fun. Chris Bryant seems to be healthy now. He homered after the finger injuries. So Chris Bryant, if you get a healthy Chris Bryant back, it's going to be amazing. Talked to Austin, though, about Wilson Contreras. That's a scary part. When you move him out of the lineup, a guy that was basically carrying the Chicago Cubs for a stretch, and then he goes down, of course, with the hamstring injury. So Contreras on the DL, that will hurt the Cubbies a little bit. And I'm a firm believer in that when you lose a guy like that, like the Cardinals did last year with Yadi Molina, not only you're losing his incredibly hot bat, but his defense is really good. I can't imagine how that wouldn't affect the Cubs for at least a game or two while he's out. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. If nothing else, August and September could be fun around Central Illinois as the Cubbies and the Cardinals give us something to talk about here. That would be a fun stretch and a fun way to end this season. We also did a next question. Austin asked Harry and I, is Nick Saban the best college football coach of all time? Look, without going deep, and what I mean deep is going back in time, I'm going to say it's Nick Saban. Yep, I think he is. 5 national titles. By the way, somebody texted in, I appreciate this. The Cubs play Cincinnati at Wrigley after they play the Cardinals. So the Cubbies and Cardinals both finish at home. Cubs against the Reds, Cardinals against the Brewers. I appreciate the help on that. But Saban, I think he's the best coach. I don't think there's any doubt. And we asked about the best catch you've ever seen in any sport, and it elicited a ton of responses on our Chief Bauer text line. We can go through some of those again before we end the show. If you want to weigh in on that, you can at 359-2255. That's the Chief Bauer text line. All right, coming up, Jeremy Warner, IlliniInquirer.com. We'll talk about Illinois training camp today and the week ahead. We'll do that with Jeremy. But this has been Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For a wide selection of new and used vehicles, check out Honda BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy, and online, you know it, drivechampaign.com. Well, as teachers return to the classroom, give them supplies for success. Busey is excited for the return of its annual back-to-school social media initiative, awarding $2,000 in support of our schools. Teachers oftentimes pay for books and basic supplies out of pocket. In fact, get this, teachers spend an average of nearly $500 on school supplies, instructional material, and other classroom supplies. To give teachers supplies for success, you can connect with Busey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Nominate your school August 14th, that's today, through the 25th, with a short description and photo directly on Busey's social media page with the hashtag supplies, the number 4 success. Hashtag supplies for success. And Busey will vote a winner. Give your local teachers and students supplies for success by connecting with Busey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. To learn more, visit any Busey location or call 1-800-67-BUSEY. Member FDIC.
Hey guys, it's Jeremy Warner. And starting on Monday, August 21st, tune in weekdays from 9 to 11 a.m. for the Jeremy Warner Show only on ESPN 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the WSJK app and at ESPNCU.com.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
It's Devin Watkins, Deputy Champaign County Sheriff's Department. Just does a great job, and we appreciate all that she does. So when you get home after your shift and your two black labs see you, they are so jacked.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do they calm down to go to bed because it's too late to go running?
I think they've got it down now. As soon as I sit down, they jump in my lap and they're ready to lay down with me.
And then you can run the next day.
Yep.
And they run pretty well with you then.
They do. They love it.
You need to have rollerblades when you start because the dogs bolt on you.
That's what everybody tells me.
It'd be dangerous, so have to wear a helmet. Well, listen, I'm thankful that you do what you do. Thank you because, again, you're serving, you're protecting, you're helping our county be better. And there are people like you that make it really, really good for us here. And I appreciate what you're doing.
It's my pleasure. Well, I really enjoy the career, so it's definitely my pleasure.
Well, stay safe out there.
Thank you.
You're a law enforcement official of the month, brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions.
Hail to the orange. Hail to the blue with Game Day Spirit Fan Store. Game Day is the exclusive retailer of this year's Hail to the Orange t-shirt. Don't miss out on getting yours. Find the exclusive Hail to the Orange t-shirt at any of the Game Day Spirit locations or order online at GameDaySpirit.com. Youth, adult, and extended sizes available in the BOGO section at Game Day Spirit. Located at 519 East Green Street in Campustown and now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Game Day Spirit. Go Illini!
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign.
Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
While Justin Thomas was rolling to his first major title, there will be more. I feel pretty good in saying that. While mostly meaningless preseason football was being played, while 7 immature Gators' idiotic decisions got them suspended for a huge football game, a big leaguer was traded from the White Sox to the Astros, and I smiled when I heard about it. It was less than a month ago the Yankees sent reliever Tyler Clippard to the White Sox. The Yankees at the time sat in playoff position, the White Sox miles out. Clippard handled it beautifully, even admitting it was a great trade for the Yankees, who got rid of him. Well, yesterday, Clippard was dealt again. From the worst team in the American League to the best, the White Sox sent him to the Astros. Very few people in any sport can control their trade fate. Clippard knows this well. Here's to hoping this is the end of his 2017 travels, and now we'll be able to see him in the playoffs. Oh, just something I noticed. While the Astros are running away with that top spot in the American League, I did the math. They're still 11 games behind the Dodgers overall. Ridiculous. In 60 seconds, one made me cringe, one had me dying laughing.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
At 6 a.m., 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Go to GilletteOnDemand.com and get your 4th order free. Gillette, the best a man can get.
I didn't watch any live sports this weekend. It was a beach weekend with the family, but I did check in plenty on Twitter, and 2 pieces of video caught my attention. One, Bryce Harper running to first base. Wet base, disastrous crash. How Harper did not tear every ligament in his knee, I have no idea. He's expected to be back this season. Now, his agent says baseball has to do something about wet bases. Any ideas? I've got nothing. Then, last night, ran across a hysterical Louis Oosthuizen vid, tweeting that he's now finished finished second in all 4 majors. He lip-syncs Andra Day's I'll Rise Up from the seat of an airplane. It is tremendous. There's something there. I just don't know what, but watch it. You'll root for Louis every tournament. The beach, by the way, was good. Thanks for asking. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 523 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. At State Farm and Home and Auto, work as a team. You score time and money. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today. The Cubs have secured sole possession of first place again after a series win against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Easy with the excitement level on that.
It's just one game. I'm not getting too high, not getting too low. Just stating facts, Lon.
There you go.
They won 7-2, and the Cubs roughed up the Arizona pitching, hitting 3 homers. The Cubs' homers all were in the 8th and 9th inning. In the 8th, they went back-to-back with Baez and Happ. Then in the 9th, Chris Bryant crushed his second homer since his finger injury. The Cubs played the Reds tonight at 7:05. It's Wojciechowski versus Quintana from Wrigley Field. You can catch that on US 105.9. The Cardinals didn't have a bad weekend either. They took 2 of 3 against the Braves. On Sunday, their loss was against knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Dickey gave up only 1 earned run in 7 innings of the 6-3 loss. The Cardinals play the Red Sox tomorrow from Fenway. The probable is Leak versus Porcello. The White Sox have traded right-handed pitcher Tyler Clippard to the Houston Astros in exchange for a player to be named later or cash considerations. Bryce Harper was injured over the weekend when he landed on the first base wrong. But good news for the Nationals, he did not tear a ligament. He is on a 10-day DL for now with a bone bruise. The NBA schedule was released. The Bulls season opener is on October 19th versus Toronto. Home opener October 21st at San Antonio.
Sixers?
I think Boston is their first game.
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
You actually know that?
Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson make their return to the United Center versus with the Timberwolves on February 9th. And former Bulls guard Derrick Rose will face the Bulls December 4th with the Cavaliers. And in wrestling news, Ric Flair is in a medically induced coma and faces imminent surgery.
Hey, I want to congrats Milan Taylor from Champaign. Her and her 3 kids are heading to Disney World on an all-expense-paid trip courtesy of SJ Broadcasting. Along with Travel by Beth, Jets Pizza, CarX, the Suites at Third, Country Financial Agent Jesse DeHaan, the Prospect Bank, and the Champaign Park District. Disney World for all 4 of them. Fantastic. ESPN 93.5. Happy to help with that. Great stuff. Little tainted love. I got to do something. Sorry, Harry. All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay. Austin Berkland's joined me in studio again. Kind of flying solo. I'm good, buddy.
Good.
Visited with Kevin Wheeler in the 3 o'clock hour. Also, Mark Tupper at 4:05. Jeremy Warner is going to join us in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, 5:30 to 5:35. Okay. It's just up to whatever is going on at practice right now.
Yeah. I know over at practice, he always tries to get some interviews with the players and coaches. So a lot of times he has to kind of factor around that. So Jeremy will be in tomorrow. I'm out tomorrow. Lucas has a golf match in Bloomington. So I'm going to be over there tomorrow for that. So, and then I think Wednesday we're both here. And Thursday he's going to do the show from his house.
Yeah, to test the equipment that he's going to have for the Jeremy Warner show.
Okay. And then on Friday, it will be Jeremy and I right here for the final Tay and J Show, which will be interesting.
Yes.
And if you get a chance, well, I don't know, maybe you don't want to. I wouldn't blame you. But at the start of the show today, and if you podcast at ESPNCU.com, you can podcast all of our shows, and you will always continue to do that, even on the Jeremy Warner Show, which is going to be from 9 to 11 a.m. starting the 21st, and Tay and Carp, which will be from 4 to 6 every day right here on 93.5 ESPN Radio. We're going to do our show from the station, from the studio. Now, Austin, you'll be in studio for the Jeremy Warner Show.
Yeah, I'll be manning the board, and then when Jeremy is here as well, I'll be still running the board and just contributing a little bit here and there, talking maybe a little bit Cubs, and just helping Jeremy run the show.
That'll be awesome. I'm sure for you, we've talked to Carp, we've talked to Jeremy. Of course, I've said my say, which I did today in that first 15 minutes or so of the show, kind of a look back a little bit of how that started. We've talked to everybody about this. How about for you? You're pretty excited about this, right?
I'm very excited. It's going to be different not seeing you every day.
Yeah.
It's going to be strange, but I'm sure
we'll
continue communications with trying to get Illinois coaches and Illinois Illini players. I'll help you guys do that, but it's definitely going to be a change, and waking up a little bit earlier
right,
to get to the station by 9 a.m.
You're a farm boy, though, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be fine.
I mean, you'll be up by... Like when I text and email Austin, it's like 5 in the morning because I'm always assuming you're just up milking cows.
Yes.
Like mowing ditches.
No.
Cultivating.
A lot of cultivating.
Planting. Running the auger. The combine. I mean, I just assume you're up doing that stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to send you an email.
I mostly do the worker type jobs.
There you go.
Definitely not running the combine or running the planter or my dad won't let me touch the tractor.
Have you run the auger?
No.
Okay. I ran that one time. I was like, I was basically like pulling the auger or whatever, saying, all right, now slow down. He's got a dump here. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But no, I'm kidding about that. But no, I think it's exciting news for you. You've earned it. You've worked your way up. You've done a great job helping behind the scenes, especially since Jeremy has gotten busy with IlliniInquirer.com. You've really kind of taken over in terms of producing a lot of our shows.
I can't thank everybody enough for all their help, from Rob teaching me how to run the board for high school football, from you helping me develop my voice on air, to Jeremy to helping me with producing and getting shows booked. Just everybody here at the studio, from salespeople all the way down the line to Ken in programming.
It's cool.
Helping me out with this opportunity, and I couldn't have done it without every one of you, and then including my parents. I want to thank them.
Absolutely.
Just for being there and being my support system.
It's proof. You are perfect proof, and I see that out of a lot of our interns. You're perfect proof of, if you come to work every day wanting to learn and wanting to be a part of it and understand what goes into a show, what goes into doing a commercial, what goes into a sales, any of that. I think it's perfect proof of that you can learn and you can gain value by that. And that's in any job, right? If you're shadowing any job, or if you're interning at a job, I think what you need to do is, if that's what you think you want to do, if you want to work at a bank, if you want to, I don't know, work at a grocery store, anything. If you want to do that, I think it's important as an intern and to just see what all the jobs are at a bank, at a grocery store, at a radio station, and figure out what you want to do. Maybe a lot of our interns that have come through here don't want anything to do with being on air. And you've kind of wanted to do that, but you also enjoy the producing aspect of it.
I love producing. I remember getting Ron Turner.
You're right.
Whenever they hired Josh Whitman. That was the first time, maybe the first time he's been on Champaign-Urbana radio since the firing happened, and him talking about coaching Josh Whitman, and
that's cool.
Telling him all of his stories from Josh Whitman getting a B in one class, and Ron making fun of him for that and joking around with him about that.
That's crazy.
It was great.
Well, it's going to be fun, and I know you and Jeremy are going to do a dynamic job and a great job with the Jeremy Werner Show. Again, you'll hear that from 9 to 11 right here on ESPN 93.5, and then Tay and Carp, that show will be from 4 to 6. What we're doing essentially is we're taking a 3-hour show down to 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know for sure what we're going to do with that 3 to 4 hour, but I think maybe going to replay Jeremy.
Replay the second hour of our show.
Okay. So that'll be interesting. So we'll have basically, even though 1 hour will be taped, that 3 to 4, we'll have 5 hours of local sports talk on ESPN 93.5. And that was kind of part of our goal when we decided we needed to do all this. We understood that it wasn't ideal. Excuse me for using that. But we also said, how can we use this to better the station?
It's not a dagger in the heart of the radio station.
No, without no, without a doubt. And of course, Stevie J will still do his show from 7 to 9 a.m. Diane Ducey joining him. So this is exciting. It gives you an opportunity. Carp, I mean, we say it gives him an opportunity. He's on all the time, which is wonderful. Filling in for either Jeremy or myself, but now Carp gets a name on a show, which he has definitely earned in almost 7 years of doing this. So it's going to be fun. This is our last week of the Tay and J Show. So it's interesting. I want to read something off the, I saw this on ESPN about Tiger Woods, that he had 5 drugs in his system when he was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence in May, according to a toxicology report released Monday. I have no idea how nurses and doctors say the names and pharmacists say the names of these drugs, but I'm going to try this. He was on hydrocodone, which is a generic form of painkiller. Morphone. Yeah, that's it. A strong painkiller commonly known as something. Alprazolam, a mood and sleep drug. He was also on Zolpidem, a sleep drug commonly. So 2 sleep drugs, 2 painkillers, and then a Delta-9 carboxy THC, which is a muscle relaxant. So he had not had anything to drink.
That is all the major food groups.
Right?
Of drugs.
So he had
there.
2 painkillers and 2 sleep drugs in him when he had this arrest. And so he has, he on Wednesday pleaded guilty to reckless driving, agreed to enter a diversion program that'll allow him to have his record wiped clean if he completes the program. So that is Tiger Woods. Of course, look, the dude's had a lot of surgeries. He's in a lot of pain, I bet. But that doesn't give you the right to do what he did, obviously. And I think hopefully he'll understand his mistake on that.
Is he done winning tournaments?
I would think so. I mean, he had the year, what was it, about 4 years ago, where he was the PGA Player of the Year. He didn't win a major, but
he won all the minor tournaments.
Yeah, he won like 5 tournaments that year, and you thought, all right, he's starting to dial it back in. But now all of a sudden it just seems like he's really not, and a lot of times it's just a back that's hurting him or a knee that's hurting him. So it just seems like it's something different every time with Tiger. It's too bad. I mean, you've seen an elite athlete break down, and this is what happens. And it's too bad because a lot of times in golf that doesn't happen, and with Tiger it has. And has that robbed him the chance now of catching Jack? It looks like it. Nicklaus with those 18 majors. So I'm not sure that we'll ever see that. I still think there's that sector of people that think Tiger's the best player ever. I go by facts. I look at the facts and see that Jack Nicklaus had 18 majors plus finished second in so many majors.
Did Jack play in an era, though, where there was that level of competition that Tiger played against?
Well, I think so. I mean, you had Gary Player, you had Tom Watson, you had, of course, Arnold Palmer. On and on. I do. I believe that. I know that can make a difference, but if you're talking, you're battling Arnold Palmer, who is considered one of the best golfers in the world, whereas Tiger was battling who? Phil Mickelson?
Vijay Singh.
Yeah. I mean, some of those guys. So I would argue that Nicklaus had a tougher path with regards to who he had to go against. But it's a great argument. And I certainly am one that understood and understand the importance of what Tiger Woods did for that sport. He brought it back. Tiger Woods was electrifying. He was one that came, it was must-watch TV. Even if you didn't like golf, you were watching Tiger Woods in a major or in any tournament he played in. And Austin, if he turns out playing in the Masters next year, guess what CBS is going to show a lot of? Tiger Woods. And you know why? Because he deserves it. Yeah. Because everybody wants to see him. Now, whether he deserves it, I mean, if he's 6 over at the time, maybe he wouldn't deserve it if you're not showing someone that's 4 under. But the perception out there is that everybody wants to see Tiger Woods, and why not? I do. I want to see him, and I know Jeremy and I have talked a lot about that and the fact that without him there, it kind of takes away a little bit. But you're starting to see some of these other kids, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, of course, the kid that just won the PGA Championship. Justin Thomas.
Yeah, I should have had that in the update.
So that's all right. That's all right. He won that. So, I mean, you've got a lot of Rory, of course, and stuff. So you got a lot of those coming back. But those allegations are out now with Tiger Woods. Again, 2 painkillers, 2 sleep drugs, and a muscle relaxer in his system at the time. So not good for Tiger for sure. All right. It is time to head to the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. I have a read for this, and I have to find it. So, Austin, do you want to talk for just 1 second while I find this read? What am I doing? Why am I not finding this? Here it is.
Yeah, you got
I got it. All right, Jeremy, just hold on. Check out Jupiter's at the Crossing's new gaming arcade area featuring brand new gaming cards that you can recharge with credits each time you come back to Jupiter's. He is Jeremy Warner of the Tay and J Show. How are you, buddy?
I have no pain. My muscles are relaxed. I'm in my car, but I don't think I'm impaired. So I don't think I'm going to get in that tiger trouble here.
And you're on your Bluetooth, right? You're not going to get in trouble here.
I'm parked. I'm not driving, so we're good.
We're good to go.
Jeremy's following all the major rules.
Yes, he is, and we appreciate that.
I even have my seatbelt on, guys.
And you're parked?
I'm parked and I have my seatbelt on.
Well, that is impressive, man. That's kind of geeky, actually, a little bit. but hey,
unbuckle your seatbelt.
Hey, in case somebody
become
would
a rebel a little bit.
accidentally, ram him or something, he's ready to go.
One strap it, maybe.
There you go. Yeah, be a rebel out there. All right, buddy. You are at Illini football training camp the week ahead. What developments were good today? I think Mark Tupper said Larry Boyd was back. What are some other things that happened today, and how did Boyd look? I guess that's important.
Great to see number 76 back. He's just a mammoth offensive tackle who, when he makes a mistake, he's got the feet to make up for it. And once he gets his paws on you, boy, he's going to be a good one. And he's really key for them right away. I mean, he was one of their top 5 offensive linemen, really probably top 4. And on that offensive line, they actually moved Nick Allegretti in the center a couple times, especially on the goal line.
Okay.
They got a lot bigger, and that's a good run blocking unit when you have Allegretti, Palczewski, a freshman, Meganson moves from tackle to the guard, and then you get Boyd and DeLauro on the outside. They're still playing with stuff. They're still trying to figure out who's our best 5 offensive linemen, what's our best rotations here, there, defensively. So they're still playing a little bit with that stuff. But it was a good day for the offense, and Lovie Smith said that as well. The defense was dominating the practice early on, guys. Right. The offensive line couldn't block anybody. The run game couldn't get going. I don't want to say the offense is going to be great this year, but they're starting to find a rhythm, starting to find an identity, which is really good running the ball. They're pass blocking a little bit better. Seems like the offensive line's finding a little bit more rhythm, better understanding, because it is a young group. So the offense has taken some strides, which whenever you're at camp, guys, it's hard to figure out, well, is this because the defense is struggling or the offense is doing well? But I got to say, after seeing the offense struggle really hard the last week and a half, the offense seems to be taking some strides.
With regards to that offensive line, what is the ideal situation for Illinois and Luke Butkus and Lovie Smith and Garrick McGee? Is it, obviously they want to run the football. So is that what they're trying to basically get together, the 5 best run blockers on this team, or how are they trying to develop that offensive line in terms of what they want it to be the best at?
The key for the offensive line is stay healthy. I don't think they can have one key injury. If they have one key injury there, it gets scary in a hurry. The second group is just not good. I don't know how else to put it, but yeah, they're going to be a physical offensive line, but you can't just go with the best run blocker because that might be Adam Solomon, but his footwork in the pass protection just isn't good, and you got to be multiple. You got to be able to do both on the offensive line. So I don't think there's going to be a great pass blocking team, but you have to be reliable because you can't just run the ball all the time,
right?
Because then they're not going to defend the pass. Like last year, you couldn't just throw the ball all the time because they knew you weren't going to run very well. So you got to be multiple. You got to do that. But this is a physical running team, especially when you get Chase Crouch back there. I think that has to be their identity this year. Last year, I think the pass to run was about 58 to 42 or something like that. I don't know if it's going to be flipped, but I would think and I would hope the running attack will be 54, 55% of the time, especially with a guy like Chase Crouch, because he's so dynamic when he gets the ball and runs. And I got to tell you, he's really competitive, which is great, but it also scares you because he's trash talking out there. He's running, and they don't hit right now, but if he was out there and they had full pads and they were tackling, he'd be taking some hits in games. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's also a little scary when he's out there, but I do think there's a running team because they got some good young running backs and Mike Epstein and Rayvon Bonner with Kendrick Foster and Reggie Corbin. You had that, and that's a good running team, and I do think the offensive line is further ahead run blocking, way further than pass blocking.
We've talked about the freshmen, Bennett Williams and Larry Boyd, being big surprises at camps. Has there been an upperclassman that has surprised you?
That is a good question. Let me think about that for a second.
Uh-oh, you stumped him.
I feel like we don't talk enough about the guys who are really good. Like Trey Watson, guys, is great. he's had a fantastic camp. He's a hard hitter. Dudek and Malik Turner have been great. Malik had a great day today. I will give you one name, and he's probably not a starter, but I've really noticed him, especially against the run, and that's Dele Harding. He's backing up Trey Watson right now, and he's been really good against the run. Now, he struggles a bit against the pass, but if they did have an injury in the top three linebackers, which right now Delshon Phillips has passed up Julian Jones, which I think is a good thing because I think Delshon Phillips they brought here to play. I think his ceiling is high. It's also a bad thing because Julian Jones, it feels like, is he the next Caleb Day? Is he just not going to put it all together? But Dele Harding's a top four linebacker. He's behind Trey Watson and Mike right now, but he's always flying around the ball. He's always hitting hard. So he's another kid that if they do have an injury at linebacker, I feel really good about him because I think he could start for Illinois and be one of those guys who gets 90 to 100 tackles.
Follow Jeremy on Twitter. I know you do already. It's at Jay Warner Scout. Jeremy, talking to Tops earlier, I thought he brought up a good point. I asked him about Chase Crouch struggling a little bit and some of the quarterbacks struggling and, whether or not the defense is that good or just the offense was struggling. But he mentioned the fact, with Chase, and you and I have talked about this, Jeremy, and that he's a gamer, right? Not so much practicer. But it's one of those situations where right now the quarterback can't be touched. So really he's not using his other weapon, which is his legs, to see and how that could really play into him being a lot more effective, a lot better with regards to a quarterback. I hadn't really thought of that, but that does make sense.
Yeah, with Chase, his struggles, the only thing I'm concerned about is the interceptions. He had a lot of interceptions early in camp. Now, those have gone down. But there's got to be a ball control team. If they don't win the turnover battle, if they don't win time of possession, I don't think they have much of a chance because he's just not a great passer. I don't think he'll ever be a great passer. That doesn't mean he can't be an effective one when you combine it with his running ability. He can extend plays, finding Mikey Dudek over the middle, or today he found Ricky Smalling for a sliding catch that moved the chain 6-7 yards as opposed to taking a sack or taking an incompletion. Those are the little efficiency things that he does that, we don't see all that much right now. I mean, he doesn't translate to practice as much. He's not going to be pretty in 7-on-7. That's just not the player he is. But when you do put the pads on, as long as he's on the field and he's healthy, I think he's going to be effective. I think he's going to add an element that just makes this offense much more difficult to defend than last year when you just had Wes with really no weapons around him at wide receiver. So I don't worry too much about Chase Crouch except for the interceptions. He has to cut those down, and he has the last couple days. And the other thing is he's only played really a game and a half, really, of big playing time. So he is an inexperienced quarterback, which we don't think about because he's a redshirt junior, but he hasn't had very many reps. So that's another thing of why this camp is so important to him.
Which freshman has blossomed before your very eyes at this camp that started out kind of poorly but has really settled in to a spot here on this Illini roster?
A couple guys. Kendrick Green has really settled in at defensive tackle. I think he's going to be one of the top four guys, and that's above Kenyon Jackson, who just doesn't look like the same player. He's had a couple injuries, and he's just not as athletic and as big as some of these other guys. So Kendrick Green's really settled in, seems to be gaining some comfort there. Another kid is Lewis Dorsey, the tight end. You'd love to redshirt a kid like that, but they don't have many receiving options at tight end. And he made a couple catches today where it's just like, okay, that's what this tight end is eventually going to look like. He's up to about 240 pounds, not a good blocker. He doesn't do much blocking in this offense yet. They mostly use him as a receiver, but he's 6'6", athletic. I mean, he looks like a basketball player out there. He was a mid-major basketball recruit his junior year, but then he switched back to football. He could be a steal eventually. Now, I don't know how big of a role he played this year because he's not a great blocker, but I do think he could be one of the tight ends who makes some big plays or could make a big play for you every once in a while. So those two have really blossomed, but the guys who continue to stand out are the guys who've stood out from the beginning. That's Larry Boyd, Alex Palczewski, kind of surprisingly, Ricky Smalling, Bobby Roundtree. You mentioned Bennett Williams, Tony Adams as well. So those are kind of the guys who have stuck out. But you are seeing some progression from some guys. There are also some guys who have a lot to prove. I mean, Owen Carney, I thought would be a little bit better than he is. And I don't know if he's going to make an immediate impact. There's some other defensive linemen who have played better than him so far.
Jeremy Warner, IlliniInquirer.com, still of the Tay and J Show, soon to be of the Jeremy Warner Show. Follow him on Twitter, @JWarnerScott. I'm out of breath just introducing you on this thing. Hey, injury-wise, I know it's been a pretty good camp with regards to no major injuries. Yeah, and we're trying to find some wood here. There's some. I know Jalen Dunlap's been a little beat up. You know, what are some of the other injuries, and are these guys slowly, as mentioned with Larry Boyd, basically, are these guys slowly getting back on the field?
Yeah, Lovey mentioned it after practice today. He said, so far, pretty good injury-wise. Dunlap has not practiced yet. I mean, he's gone through some drills, some warm-ups, some workouts, but his knee's still sore from what I've heard. So no Jalen Dunlap yet. I mean, he is a redshirt senior, so if there's anybody that can afford it, it's him. But, you know, by the end of the week, it's starting to get to that point where it's like, okay, it might be worry time. They moved Cam Watkins back out to cornerback. So that may be a sign that, hey, you know, Jalen, is he going to be ready for the season opener? I don't know that. It's just, it makes you wonder. And Lovey said, he's going to get back here eventually. So we'll see on him. But a lot of people are coming back. Tito Odenigbo got back to practice. Kenyon Jackson was in a green jersey today. Reggie Corbin is back, but he's not full go. Kendrick Foster is doing some workouts, but didn't go full go in team drills today. Yeah, no big injuries. I mean, the biggest one right now is probably Vidarian Lowe and Jalen Dunlap, and I don't think Vidarian Lowe is going to make much of an impact anyway this year. So far, so good, and number 18 still out there practicing. So that's always a good sign.
All right, Jeremy, you'll be in studio tomorrow. You and I will be in studio Wednesday. Thursday, you're going to be up in, not in Chicago, but your house. And I'm going to be here. And
somebody asked me if I'm doing the show from Chicago. Yeah, I'm not driving an hour north to Chicago to do the show.
No. And
I do it from home.
I said northern Illinois, and I said he'll be up north in Illinois. And I think, so now everybody around here automatically thinks up north is Chicago. So you're not that far up. No, so we will see. I'll see you Wednesday then.
Yeah, and it sounds like Josh Whitman will join us one of these days. That's in the works. So
awesome.
Hopefully we'll get him here before we end as a show. It's weird, Lon.
No.
It's really weird.
It's ridiculously weird, but we're going to do this. We're going to trudge along, and we're going to get this completed, and then we're going to start our new chapter, and we're going to have some fun with it. Deal?
That's right.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you, Jeremy.
All right, see you, boys.
See ya. Jeremy Warner. Actually, I won't talk to Jeremy tomorrow. I'm not going to be here. And I'm not just going to call Jeremy tomorrow just to talk to him. I guess I could.
Yeah.
I guess I could. That's what I'll have to do now going forward. I'll have to, call him every once in a while and be like, hey, what's up?
Hey, how's Torin? Hey, how's the wife?
Hey, so we used to talk 3 hours a day, and now you hardly talk to me. Is there something I should know? That's what I'm going to ask him.
Is there another co-host?
Yeah, you know what? I think every time I email and or text Jeremy, I'm going to be like, we used to talk a lot more than we do now. Is there something I should know? Is this, I can handle it. I'm 46. Throw it out there at me if there's something.
Just break up.
Just end it if that's the case. All right, when we come back, there is a certain texter that is calling me out, and I deserve it.
Oh, boy.
Because there are things that people do when communicating that drive me nuts, and I'm doing it to drive him or her nuts, and I don't mean to. I'm going to address that when we return. And we close out the show.
All right.
It is the Tay and J Show.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's Lonte
and Mike Carpenter.
And starting Monday, August 21st, join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. for Tay and Carp.
You can tune in to ESPN 93.5 or stream worldwide on the WSJK app and ESPNCU.com.
The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignurbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
You check things all the time. like your email every 10 seconds or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
From the coffee shop to the classroom to our many convenient locations in between, Busey offers solutions to simplify your financial life. Enjoy hassle-free banking with Busey's mobile app and deposit checks, transfer funds, and pay bills all on your schedule. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
I'm confused. Austin is confused. I'm confused. David Morrow is confused. And Harry Black is confused. We have someone, he or she, the Chief Bauer text line. And today the question is, what's with all the, quote, verse? It's verses. So what we're talking about, and he or she, they've hammered me before as well. If you say, yeah, the Cardinals are playing the Cubs, it's John Lackey versus Adam Wainwright.
Yeah.
Or you could say John Lackey versus Adam Wainwright, but I think it is versus is the actual way to say it.
Yeah, I've heard it said both ways, like O.J. Simpson versus the people.
Yeah.
But apparently it said, I'm looking at english.stackexchange.com.
Okay.
Versus should be used in the sense of challenging or opposing someone or something.
So he's right.
There is no such verb as verse.
Okay, so he or she is correct.
Yeah, the texter is 100% right, but I will keep using verse because it just sounds
right.
Great.
I mean, I think that's one of those where you're just used to doing it, right?
Yes.
And again, this isn't just calling you out, it's calling me out, but I will say this, and I wish they'd put their name there so I know if it's a guy or a girl. It doesn't matter. I just, I can't stand listening to people try to do grammar, try to speak grammar. Like if they say good instead of well, it drives me nuts. My son will do that, and I'm like, what'd you say? And he'll immediately start laughing. It's Andrew, and he'll say, oh, sorry. Well, Dad. I'm like, get that right. So I can't stand that stuff. So I want to apologize to this person because I know what that's like to sit there and hear that, and you're just like, get it correct.
Yeah, I've done the updates a while now. And
yeah,
this is the first I've heard of it. So thank you, texter.
That, or let's do this the other way. The texter can just relax.
No, it's fine for calling me out.
But it is good.
I appreciate it.
Right, it is good that they want us to do things correct.
My sister, the English teacher, would have a fit.
There you go.
Yes.
Maybe that's your sister.
It's definitely not my sister.
Is their number? No, I'm kidding. Give out their number. Hey, I want to thank Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN, Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review, and Jeremy Warner, IlliniInquirer.com. Harry Black joined us on the show. Appreciate that. Austin Berkman, appreciate your help always. David Morrow hasn't earned the stripes yet. He's like a zebra that only has black stripes. We're waiting for the white stripes. I'm kidding. Harry's yelling at me from the other room. All right, Jeremy's here tomorrow. I'm off. What else? Is that about it? Cardinals are off tonight. Do the Cubs play?
Yeah, the Cubs play the Braves.
Oh, that's right.
Wojciechowski versus
there you go.
Jose Quintana.
They're playing the Braves? I thought they were playing.
They're playing the Reds.
The Reds, yeah.
Yes.
Come on, Cincy.
Go Cubs.
All right, I'll see everybody Wednesday. It is the Tay and J Show.
Go Cubs.
Stop it, Cardinals.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me. It's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead. Do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign.
Come to Campus Town on Thursday, August 17th, the final day of 13 Thursdays. Shop outside at participating merchants and enjoy great discounts and deals before the summer ends. Ragstop, Game Day Spirit, TIS, Illini Shop, Apricot Lane, and the Illini Union Bookstore expanding their storefronts to line the sidewalk with merchandise and apparel all day. Join for the last hurrah in Campus Town before the students return. Parking validation in the Campus Town parking deck included when you patronize participating businesses.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
You're listening to WS.